Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Primetime 23, TD Styles versus EK Bang Bang. I am the Bang. Joining me in the booth is Dak and Honor Rose. Gentlemen, how are we feeling today?
Well, it's a pretty stacked card tonight. As you said, we got Styles versus Bang Bang headlining for the PS title. Dave, we were a late replacement against Ricardo coming in as main event. We got other fights on the main card such as MattyD, Tadpole, versus Megatony, Slick, fighting a no-name coming in very late as a replacement as well. Going on to the prelims, got Southpaw versus Quids headlining. Omrius, any fights you in particular notice?
Yeah, there's a lot of fights that are already sticking out to me. Yeeticus and Chasemefam, you know, it's interesting matchup for sure. Then we've got, like you said, LFC Zombie versus Broomstick. Zombie's been making quite a name for himself recently. He's been on quite a tear, and Broomstick, you know, he's still trying to find his place. He's had some success, but, you know, overall, he's still kind of struggling against the competition. But then it's just like, overall, we have you guys always have some of the best cards. It is always a pleasure to commentate on them. Well, when I remember, of course. But at the same time, it is definitely a great night of fights. So I'm definitely hyped for this one.
couple fighters that I like to sort of look at. AJ Sandman, the new AJ's member, of course, successful in his competition within Cage Rage yesterday. Let's see if the success continues through the weekend. Quidsworth, always a pleasure. And one of my personal favorites, the Tadpole against MattyD. I talked to you about this earlier, Doc, how great of a matchmaking decision this one is. An incredible test for Tadpole and a great opportunity for MattyD to prove that he belongs in the elite upper echelon conversation of primetime MMA.
Well, with MattyD being a former champ as well, fighting Trickzzy all the way back in our last pay-per-view of Primetime 22, MattyD is looking to come back and defend that loss. So it'd be interesting to see how MattyD stands up against a well-versed grappler such as Striker, apologies. Such as
well-rounded is he everywhere the fight goes. Tadpole is a problem, a true nightmare matchup for just about anybody. Definitely a guy that can give MattyD some issues. Honoros, what do you think of the main event, Styles versus Bang Bang? Your prediction for the top of this card?
I don't think anyone can predict this type of fight because we've seen some massacres put on by Styles. We've seen some great, amazing fights put on by Bang Bang. When you see a bunch of adversity from side to side, they always come out clutch and it's always a war. So at the end of the day, who knows what can happen? Anything can happen in that octagon, and especially for somebody like Styles and Bang Bang.
And what's going to happen next is we're going to get into the opening fight of the card. Rasputin versus Mega Marshall. Talk about an opener down at 135 bantamweight division. So quick are these lighter fighters. And looking at the pick on one end, looks like we're going to have a cruise. That's a lot of movement, Doc.
Indeed. Well, Cruz doesn't have brilliant power, but got a lot of that footwork, as you mentioned. He's also got a very good wrestling base. So, as we've seen previously in previous fights with Rara, I'd expect him to take it down to the ground very early on.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting pick, to say the least. I do love the Cruz pick because I'm a big fan of Dominic Cruz myself. I have used him in the past. And if you allow him to keep his pace and work you to the ground, it is definitely his fight to win. Yan, however, if he gets any window of opportunity for damage, it's going to give him even greater power. So he has to watch out for that and time everything he does.
Level change early from Rasputin, unsuccessful on the attempt. Big miss there. Just a quick stick from Marshall.
This definitely does seem to be the striking fight Marshall is hoping for, keeping on the pressure, slowly kicking him, boxing down. Takedown instead gets cleared.
No mercy, landing with intention.
Lovely.
There's the takedown.
Great recovery. He definitely needed that takedown to just alleviate that pressure that he was handling. Those leg kicks were doing some really great damage, and just the rock overall so early gives Yan a definite opportunity already. He's already got the advantage. But as I say this, Rasputin is definitely getting into that zone. He's trying to posture up and do some damage, equalize out. And it's working pretty well for him at the moment.
Great isolation on the midsection with those posture ups. Throws that left right into the ribs, then maybe goes upstairs. But look at this big turn around from Marshall. That's a sweep and a half, Doc.
Indeed. Well, Marshall is doing a great job at making sure he has the GI advantage even in transition, making sure to rabbit punch per se, and then lovely denial there. He's probably going to look for that top man. As I say, he gets it. Lovely job. Now, this is a dangerous position, top man being a very dominant position now. Coming back into this half guard.
Yeah, you would definitely say the experience is shining through. We haven't seen much of Mega Marshall, but we have seen a lot of Rasputin. But at the end of the day, Mega Marshall is just showing way more experience right now, being very patient overall, both in the stand-up and on the ground.
Let's see. Big denial there from Marshall. Rasputin unsuccessful with several of these transitions. You can see Yan floating to the back. Potentially maybe going to get those hooks in. Nope. Going to posture up a little bit here. Rasputin needs to be patient. There is a lot of value in throwing feints in your transitions instead of what you see he's doing. He's fully going for the bar, and that's an easy stop for a clearly well-versed grappler in Marshall.
This is a lovely job by Marshall, especially knowing that Rawaz got that grappling base in recent time. Rawaz was going to make sure that he doesn't continue punching with that hand on the head, otherwise it just allows Marshall to get a free posture up and get some damage off. And saying that, Marshall gets a lovely deny there, posturing up himself ready going into this half guard. And now he's probably looking to transition again to top man, and we've seen countless times before.
Talk about, oh, big sweep there from Rasputin. Very much needed. 15 seconds remain. Let's see if he can get up. Here he is. Maybe wants to do a bit more damage, leave an impression in the judge's mind, but you have to think that this opening set of 5 minutes is easily going to go to no mercy. 10-9 in my opinion. And I think that that's going to really dissuade Rasputin from level changing and going for takedowns. This is a clear difference in skill in terms of grappling. Let's see if Rasputin can be a bit more active on the feet.
Yeah, it's oh, sorry about that.
No respect return from No Mercy.
I would expect Rara to use that footwork a bit more just to pick his shots, especially since so early on in the first round he was getting pieced apart by that massive amount of pressure. Rara's sticking to the back of the cage, but he's also taking a lot of flying knee.
Look at this! Marshall stunned. Big moment here from Rasputin. Talk about much needed.
Great knees landed. It's definitely turning in his favor just a little bit, but he has to stay composed. He cannot lose that momentum. And as we say that, Mega Marshall is just marching him down right now, just landing some clean shots, breaking that block, and just he can't afford to allow him this pressure. He has to stop it. Whereas it might be on the ground or on the feet, he has to think of something quick.
Great denial there from Marshall. Takedown, level change, not successful. Midway through the second, 3 minutes remain. And you can see that leg health of Marshall, or Rasputin rather, is a bit worse for wear. 88 legs on that Dominator side. And look at this. Oh, such beautiful work. Comboing up the leg kick into the body kick. Quick hands is Jan. Look at him pushing forward, Doc.
Yeah, indeed. Well, Jan is doing a lovely job just picking those 1-2 shots. He's not throwing any combos. He's just keeping it very tame, throwing that 1 or 2 piece, then looking for another 2 pieces straight afterwards. Rara seems to be going for a flying knee quite a bit, knowing that he's already got a rock, but Marshall seems to have grown accustomed to it and isn't being as aggressive as he was back in early in round 2.
Rasputin definitely is operating from a skill deficit, at least in my opinion. The lack of feints, the lack of really utilizing Dominic Cruz. You know, we don't see that great head movement that he has. 97 head movement, and we all know those feints and flowing and moving out of the way. I'm not seeing that from him, but that's a beautiful head kick, shin to chin. But look at that, punch to the liver, not good for Rasputin, Honoros.
Yeah, it's definitely quite a bit of a disadvantage as we speak. And Mega Marshall is just showing calm composure. He's slowing Rasputin down. Rasputin definitely wants to have that energy charged pace. And those 1-2 shots, like Doctor was highlighting, is definitely changing the pace to where it's more suited for Mega Marshall. And in my opinion, he is definitely winning this fight, even with that earlier.
Rasputin,
that is nice.
Maybe not the more consistent fighter, but does have the moments. Of course, that big rock came courtesy of a large. Look at this, though. Right hand from Jan. Oh, this is not looking good.
He's doing a lovely job here putting under pressure. I should also note that Mega Marshall has had to switch legs due to Raro just gently kicking in the leg so much. The issue seems to be Raro's issue currently seems to be the fact that Cruz doesn't have the power. He's looking for those big shots. He's behind on the scorecards, but he doesn't have that power to finish. So coming into this final round, it's going to be an interesting time for Rara just trying to find that one big power shot.
Oh, big check right off the rip to this third round. As you say, yeah, no power, 86 power for Dominic Cruz. Not going to be a Francis Ngannou KO artist with the hands. But again, right, he's mixing in the knees and the kicks, and he's trying to integrate a lot of other strikes into the arsenal. Unfortunately, big moment there. You just have to set things up. I'm seeing a lot of fundamental work from Rasputin, but I don't see a lot of high-level IQ on the feet. I mean, look at that. He's whiffing strikes at distance, and now he's just getting pieced up. That guard is broken. The head health is not there. Marshall pouring it on, and look at this great takedown from Rasputin.
But this is definitely what Mega Marshall favors right now, if you think about it. He knows he's up 2 rounds, and just, you know, Rasputin needs a finish at this point. And Mega Marshall has just basically walked over him and changed the pace of the entire fight and slowed him down. He is landing some good ground and pound, but like you said, he does not have the power to where he could just finish you in just a set of 5 punches. So he definitely just needs to work on those basic combos, shorten up his strikes just a little bit, try to...
Oh, big moment there. Doesn't have the power, but can make what he has work. Eats that check right once again. Doc, want to get your opinion on something real quick. You're down 2 rounds, and you're level changing, trying to take it to the mat. I personally would think that he needs to go for broke. Big 2 right there. Big head kick as well. And still level changing.
Lovely takedown, straight down. Lovely job. Well, as you were saying, like if you're taking it down on the ground, you're either looking for that top man ground pound or you're looking for a sub. In this case, especially with Cruz, I'm imagining that top man ground pound would be where you're going, but instead he's more pepper in the block, and it just doesn't seem to be working. Get up though, looking for a gigantic head kick again. Though Young has that better striking advantage.
Oh, Marshall
with a jab, then putting that pressure on.
You know, you completely hit the nail on the head. 88 ground striking for Cruz. You know, it's just not, the power just isn't there anywhere the fight goes. 92 top control, so decent top control, but I have not seen, big left hand over the shoulder. I have not seen Rasputin have a big 2. I can't even get my words out. Marshall's not giving me a moment. He's not giving Rasputin a second to breathe. 60 seconds remain. Will we see a finish in the opening fight?
And we should also mention the fact that Raraz coping with all this. He's getting there. His defense is impeccable here. Like, he's not getting finished. He's getting hit. He's getting punched, but he just isn't going down.
Definitely have to absolutely give respect to Rasputin for staying in here, man. He is courageous and fighting to the end and trying to win. But you can see this Marshall is just a different level. And big 1-2, little sway to the left, tries the uppercut. Marshall coming forward, 5 seconds. Will we see a finish? Can he stop him?
Lovely
We go
job
to the decision.
defending that end part.
Rasputin, feather in the cap on surviving through 15. Opening fight on Prime Time 23 does go to the judges. Have to imagine that this is a 30-27-4. No mercy, Piotr Jan. Great pick, so well-rounded, and very effectively utilized by Marshall.
Well, he had the force of nature advantage. You know, when you have more health than your opponent, you receive less damage, or is it you do more damage? I don't quite remember. But you know, as with Cruz, he doesn't have the power, and if I'm right on force of nature, it also reduces the damage he takes. So it was just not a good game plan to just throw those wild shots. He should have stuck with the shorter combos and just worked that stamina, but at the end of the day, it'll be a learning experience for him as well.
That's what this is all about. You gotta take the losses on the chin and just realize it's part of the process, baby. You're gonna lose in the game, but if you understand that you can grow from those losses, they are academic opportunities, as some would say, that is when you really become a great player. And talking about great players, JMMA is on deck versus Clout. This one's gonna be a banger. Jay, of course, a figure in the community, does so much for everybody. I just can't wait to see him in the octagon. See here, going up to 155, a lightweight contest between Justin Highlight Gaethje versus Tony El Kakui Ferguson, Doc.
Always a good pick. Gaethje's got that power. Ferguson's got rubber guard. He's got the grappling, but has no takedowns. I thought it was Gaethje. No, it's Chandler. Apologies. With that statement, Chandler still has that power and has a good leg kick, has a good rear kick in general, and has some good top game. Not the greatest with the bottom game, maybe an 86, maybe an 87, can't remember top of my head. But with this, touch of gloves, and they are ready to fight.
One thing to point out academically, it is Chandler. Apologies for, I saw the blue shorts and went with Gaethje. Accuracy for Ferguson is at a bit of an all-time low at 89. He has had a couple nerfs due to recent performances, so I don't know if El Kakui is really the move. But look at this Imanari roll right off the bat into a submission on a roast. This is intense way to start off the fight.
Oh yeah, it's definitely favoring Ferguson right now. Even if he doesn't get this sub, he does favor his back, unlike Chandler. Chandler has a great disadvantage on
He might give up position here, though.
but he's definitely gonna get top.
Oh,
If he
that's
can
not a
get
fun
to his full
position.
guard, the rubber guard will be amazing place for him.
good transition.
Chandler's got a
for
nice
Iron
3
Mike.
ground strike in with a 95 punch power, so any type of ground and pound during this fight by Chandler, you're going to end up feeling that pain massively.
El Kukui equipped with 94 bottom control, so definitely a little bit of an edge in that just control department. But look at this, Iron Mike going to work to the ribs, just buttering them up. 3 minutes remain in the opening round.
I mean, on that note of El Kukui's bottom game, he's got a full guard sweep from side control. He's got that rubber guard as well, and to sweep into a more dominant position. Instead, goes for the sprawl position, probably looking for the get up. Instead, Chandler takes his back, and now they're into the backside. Gets a lovely denial there. That's a really high skill coming into this backside position.
Bad position for Clout J MMA, looking to get the hooks in. Who knows what he can do from this position? Go to top mount or roll him over? Yes, he does. Likely going to say posture up potentially.
It's definitely questionable that he chose to give up his back rather than try to get him into rubber guard. But at the end of the day, I mean, like you said, that top pressure from Chandler is devastating. And maybe he's feeling that pressure and just not, thinking clearly because, in my opinion, rubber guard maybe into, few elbows or a definite reversal would favor him versus this.
Definitely hard to get a ton done with a fighter like JMMA raining thunder down on your head. I am impressed, Doc, with how he has blocked so many of Clout's transition attempts. Oh, didn't block that one. Big reversal of position.
The one big one he needs. But again, Tony doesn't have this ground pound, in my opinion. He needs to get up. He needs just to put his pressure on. He's got the cardio. He's got 98 cardio. He can outlast Chandler. The issue is you need to make Chandler work for that cardio. And so far, Chandler's had a clean slate.
Iron Mike coming in at 91, so definitely a little lower in that stamina situation. Obviously T Ferg known for it, 98, but recovery is where things get a bit interesting. Iron Mike at 90, so relatively low recovery. If El Kukui could do some damage running into the next round, Chandler would be a bit compromised. 97 recovery for El Kukui. Owners, what do you make of those health stats?
I mean, it's too early to tell, in my opinion. They're both about equal stamina at the moment, and the recovery is going to come into play, and we're going to possibly be looking at both full bars. But at the end of the day, we did see some mistakes come out from the Ferguson pick, Cloud, because he gave up his back, and in my opinion, that was possibly the move you can do against Chandler. But at the end of the day, we might see something different come out. But JMMA is just putting on some insane pressure, just walking Ferguson down. And Cloud's got to think of something because usually that's Tony Ferguson's wheelhouse.
You can see the gears in Cloud's brain are working, trying to throw the spinning elbow and different offerings like that. But you need to not let yourself just circle the cage. Big combination there from El Kukui. Good sway. That's exactly what he needs. Circling back, moving laterally to the center of the octagon. Not doing a great job. JMMA just too good at cutting it off and taking angles. Great level change from him here. Gets reversed though, Doc.
This is exactly what Tony needed. Like, he was having Mash's issue. He couldn't trade with that power of Chandler. Guess his crucifix now, and here you can do some max standing. Instead, get straight into the side of position. Possibly look for an armbar if Tony has it, but I'm unsure. But now goes back into the side control. You got to remember that Chandler doesn't have the greatest top-bottom game and such. Gets out very nicely from that ground and pound position.
JMMA putting on a complete performance.
This has been a massive issue.
Overlap happens, baby. Part of the game. 2:39 remain in this second round. Largely been JMMA, but Clout has had a few moments, but not consistent. Similar to the first fight on Primetime 23. You have glimpses of greatness, but you have to be able to string it together more consistently. Big right hand. Look at this. Jay going to work to the midsection.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting to see. What I need to highlight though is Clout keeps backing up with the Ferguson pick, even when he's being pressured, and it's not going to help him in this aspect. He needs to just stay in his face and march him down and possibly get another takedown just to score some points, because overall, the Chandler pick is just devastating pressure, whereas usually, like I highlighted from before, it's Tony Ferguson time every single time if he marches him down. So he just needs to stop backing up and just start working on his basic combos.
You know, Honoros, it would be remiss of me to prescribe simply pressure being the only thing that's disrupting Clout TV. Like very akin to the first fight, skill differential is apparent. JMMA, just the more complete guy, having so much more success. Clout, not really able to get anything going. I'm unsure what the game plan from him is. He started off, a big check left there, going to the body, sure, but it just doesn't seem that he's sticking with one route. You can clearly see JMMA working the pressure, big front kick, and cutting off angles and level changing when he feels necessary. Coming into this final 5 minutes, Doc, I think that Clout really needs both a finish and to change the strategy.
Indeed. Well, the issue you can mainly see is, as you said, Jay is putting on this pressure with Chandler, but it's also the power. Like, Chandler hits hard, and that's not fun when you're a Tony who only has about 89 power. So, and that's been a major issue, is that Tony can't chase, and he's always at a chin deficit already. So, this seems to be kind of one of those things that we saw in the Rara one, where you need a big shot and you need to do something really aggressive coming into the third round. And so far, Jay's kind of neutralized that by taking him straight down.
Talking about defensive holes, definitely El Kukui coming in at 88 in terms of blocking. I'm personally surprised that the blocking isn't more compromised. You can see coming into this final set of 5 minutes that it's pretty all right. And that leads into what I was going to say next. I want to see more urgency out of JMMA. Not in the sense that he needs the finish, but he's having so much success, it seems that he's complacent. You can put on the pressure and really turn it up a notch and search for that finish and be a guy who goes in there to put people to sleep. JMMA putting on a complete performance, but not one that is necessarily a big highlight reel, which you don't never need, Doc. I mean, if you go in there searching for the highlight, you just might find yourself on one if that's your mentality. But JMMA having so much success, would like to just see him turn it up a little bit in terms of the aggression. Oh.
Sorry, we got cut out there and the stream came back, but it's definitely a war right now, and this is what, Clout needs. He needs to stay in his face and just land for combos. But it was also something he should have done in the very first round, because now it's like climbing up a hill. It's a snowball effect, and it's favoring JMMA.
You can see the left leg is decently compromised from that blue corner, eating a lot of low kicks. Level change here for El Kukui. Not successful. Iron Mike batting him away. 2-minute warning in the fight. If Clout wants to walk away with the W, he's going to have to find the finish. JMMA cruising to a big win. Eats a spinning attempt there, though.
Again, Tony seems to be starting to figure out his time, but again, it's the third round and we're a minute 30 there. Jay takes you straight down, knowing that he doesn't want to deal with this. Gets the side control position and now holds a more dominant position, denies the transition into the half guard, getting a couple elbows off, denies another sprawl takedown. And now this is kind of where Jay's successful, gets his crucifix as well.
Bad position for El Kukui. Big denial there for JMMA. These short elbows may not look like it, but there is a lot of power coming out of Iron Michael Chandler into the forehead of Clout TV. There it is. Gets the transition into side control.
Christ.
These are lethal. This could be a finish here if Jay postures up and sauces more of those thunderous hands. Here they come, blowing through the block. This could be it.
Yeah, it's a huge problem for him right now, and he keeps trying to go for that heel hook or the Imanari roll from his back, and it's not working. He tries to go for a naked transition. It doesn't work at all, and he's just pouring on the pressure. The bell just saves him, but you gotta admit, that is a huge closing statement for JMMA.
Talk about a beatdown from post to post. JMMA absolutely neutralizing Clout in what was a 15-minute one-sided affair. JMMA walking home with the W. Clout needs to address a few holes in the game. Obviously, skill differentials are so hard, especially when you're fighting in front of an audience and things like that. So all respect to Clout, but you can see that this was easily in the realm of Iron Michael Chandler.
Indeed. Well, it was just a case of Ferguson couldn't get anything going. Chandler just kept putting that pressure, using that power, and did a lovely job cornering the cage and just working down very slowly, coming to that final second, looking for that finish, but just sadly didn't have enough time to get it off.
Which is something that, you know, I would want to see from Jay moving forward with the skills and how elite he is, adding that extra level of aggression and searching to either knock the lights out of somebody or get the submission finish is an element that I believe will help him as he progresses through the rankings of esports competitive UFC 4. Now, talking about somebody who does search for the finish, AJ Sandman versus Tabarek. Up next on deck in the Octagon, we are going, Doc.
Yeah,
or on a roast.
Sorry about that. There was a little bit of a cutoff. Yeah, it's definitely going to be an interesting fight for sure. It was funny when you said cruising because I automatically thought of the first match. Rasputin was cruising for a bruising, but it's a dual Poirier pick, so that should definitely be interesting. This will highlight personal skill over anything.
The Louisianan versus the Louisianan. Interesting to see here. 155, a lot of power in this guy's hands. The Southpaw packs a punch with that left, and you can see Sandman, the aggressor, pushing the pace early. Tabarek knocks him down with a quick little, you know, one of those strikes, always a fun, momentarily off balance. But look at this, Sand is being tossed in the eyes of Tabarek. Can't see the strikes coming from that red corner.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting match. Mirror matches are always the best showcase of skill because at the end of the day, everybody knows what you're going to do because they know what they're going to do. So it has to be a completely different mix-up from both gentlemen to see who's the better Dustin Poirier, so to speak.
Great work from Sandman with the accuracy so far. The 97 rated accuracy out of the Louisianan is being put to use in the opening minutes of this first round. You can see operating off of that jab effectively. That right hand is educated. I believe it went to Cambridge potentially. Got a lot of academic knowledge packed in those 5 fingers. Great level change here from him.
Indeed, both of them doing a lovely job coming into this beginning. Tabarek starting to put on his pressure a bit more, whilst Sandman seems to be holding a more dominant position. Both of them Poirier, so nothing in terms of stats to really talk about apart from both of them are very good strikers and grapplers with a rubber guard as well. Coming into this bomb game, he now takes the back, getting to this full guard though. Good job, Sandman taking this neutral approach, getting that rubber guard, now giving to domination. So,
look at this, each guy well versed on the mat. Clearly Tabarek popping out of that rubber guard, posturing up, lets him to the feet. Oh, big miss! Ooh. Sandman gets the body rock!
Getting that body a bit more godly way with the uppercut, but instead puts in the pressure, stays in the pocket, has a couple of 3-piece on his way, not scared to trade.
Tabarek not outgunned in this one at all, has definitely had success, could find more there. Sandman whiffs on a big strike, not returned. Big sprawl out of Tabarek, really impressed with the takedown defense he's displayed within this first minute. Power up from the AJ's member, clinch position against the cage. Strikes are coming, Doc. Oh, big body kick from Tabarek.
Kind of expired for a second, but at the end of the day, it's definitely beautiful strikes coming out of both gentlemen, but those knees are tailing ahead in the stamina advantage.
You can see Sandman definitely the more volume-based guy, the aggressor, pushing the pace, trying to dictate what this fight looks like right there. Big moment from AJ Sandman. Tabarrok momentarily stunned. Now, once to the body, once to the head. This first round has not entirely gone his way in terms of significance. The effective striking coming from the blue corner. But look at this, or the red corner. They look the same. It's so difficult to tell. Great first round for Sandman in the sense of 35 significant strikes to 10 on Tabarrok. Interesting differential there, striking disparity evident. Let's get in to the second set of 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's
mirror matches are so fun on ours. Oh!
Sandman had the early pressure, but he gets caught by the cleaner shots. As you know, Poirier from the blue corner, I can't make out his name, it's a little bit blurry, but he's just landing the cleaner shots at the moment. But those body knees are just constantly landing.
Tabarrok definitely has an opportunity right there. Big whiff from Sandman, not capitalized from the blue corner. Big combo there. But as you mentioned, yeah, one punch can change the complexion of the fight. First round, Sandman. Tabarrok coming alive, though. Maybe he's a slow starter. Maybe he needs the first round to figure out, make the reads, eats, loses it in the judges' scorecard, but comes in a lot stronger in the following 5 minutes. Sandman, though, still very much here, pumping the guard, throwing big power shots.
But Tabarrok is landing those really good shots as soon as he reads that knee, because Sandman has thrown it way too often now. So every time he's complacent enough to eat it in return sometimes, but also he times it to where he grabs that knee and it could look for a possible takedown as well. Good clinch just to stall the pressure coming forward.
Oh! Sandman was loading up that overhand this entire round, finally lands it, floors Tabarrok momentarily. The Louisianan pops back to his feet, but who knows if he'll stay there. A lot of health issues as we approach the final 2 minutes in this second round, specifically that midsection. It's been buttered. It's like a lobster. It's ready to be consumed from the AJ's member. But look at this big right hand from Tabarrok.
Yeah, it definitely looks like he's cracked some ribs for sure, but he's being patient now. He's definitely not rushing forward with those knees, because originally he got caught several times. And now he throws some knees in return, but he throws that risky double up with that body kick and gets caught. And that body is flashing. It's cracked for sure. He barely saves it on that one.
Each guy is suffering in the stamina department. Body health is a bit worse for wear on each side. 60 seconds remain in this second round. Big moment there from Sandman. What I would like to see from Tabarrok in terms of tactile adjustments would be targeting the midsection even more. I think that if he's able to debilitate the stamina, it's going to neutralize anything that Sandman wants to do moving forward. Beautiful, absolutely picture perfect. Ducks the strike, goes to the body and drops him. What a statement to end what was a very competitive second round. Top mount for the AJ's member. Has to think he's going to ride this out. Posture up momentarily, half guard regained from Tabarrok. Boom, we're going to the third.
Yeah, it's definitely a drawn out fight for sure, but Sandman has landed the better and more frequent strikes. But at the same time, Tabarrok has shown that he can still hang in there for a war. It's definitely not even close to being over. But I do believe Sandman is just up a little bit on the scorecards.
Final 5 minutes remain between these two. Most contested fight we've had yet on this card. The recovery of Poirier is 94, so in this final set of 5 minutes, they've got a little bit more gas in the tank, but who knows if it's enough. That body is low for Tabarrok. But look at this big uppercut from the blue corner. Oh! That's it! That's it!
Beautiful closure. Beautiful closure to that match. Sandman was just pulling ahead. He did the body work early on. He had the stamina advantage, and he got in with those beautiful clean strikes and ended the night in a spectacular fashion.
Under 30 seconds into that third and final round. Sandman chooses to stay and sit in the pocket and finds a beautiful pullback upper finish. That's picture perfect. Hanged out on a wall, Sandman. Wonderful victory for him. Continues the streak that he started yesterday. Great work from him. I believe we have a slight change in addition. The next fight will be TMF Ginja versus TK Omoplata. Weight class is going to be 145, heading to featherweight, Doc.
Indeed. Ginger's a striker, Omoplata's a striker. I expect this to stay on the feet, to be fair. Both of them are well-rounded in that verse. Both of them are extremely well-versed in league fighting as well. So I'd imagine that in terms of leagues nerves, hopefully they shouldn't have too many. Hopefully it should be a clean fight. And with that said, let's get into this with Johnson versus a Pettis pick.
Menace versus Showtime. Interesting choice. Michael down at 145. Hasn't really been incredibly consistent, but hey, that's the story of his entire career. We all know Anthony Pettis, what he brings to the octagon in terms of the Taekwondo, the incredibly powerful kicks and movement from Showtime are something to be feared. But look at this, Michael Johnson's fast hands could be a problem.
Yes, let me hark on the highlight I always love to say is personal skill. TK Omoplata has had some wars with Michael Johnson and definitely very big upsets. So this is not something that could obviously fall out of his favor, because he is definitely measured up to his biggest threats with Michael Johnson and definitely come out clean. So it's definitely going to be an interesting fight to see. You don't see a lot of Pettis picks, but when you do, it is a spectacular kickboxing fight.
And you can see Ninja really utilizing those legs effectively, hitting Michael Johnson from different angles and finding creative strikes. But Omoplata having a lot of success as well. Right there, though, big moment for Ninja, knocks him down.
He definitely dipped down to the body just a little bit too much. And Doc, you gotta wonder if he keeps doing this, what if he keeps getting caught while dipping to the body, which we have seen in the past. What do you think he can do to change that?
Just headhunt a bit. Just make sure that your body shots aren't too predictable. Headhunt, do a little tap. Don't need to dig down consistently. Just a 1 or 2 taps. Especially as a back at the pocket after low and stand does a lot for that cardio against another person as well. But instead, you're seeing Michael Johnson try standing in the pocket with Pettis, and Pettis seems to have the better boxing capabilities as of current.
Equipped with Ginga Ninja, somebody who does have so much success in the pocket regardless of the fighter. But look at this big offering from the Menace lands. Just over 2 minutes left in this opening round, and it seems that Ninja's had just the better of the striking exchanges. A little bit quicker, a little bit more successful, but big stick there from Johnson.
Yeah, it's definitely... He does favor this in-your-face type of style, but at the same time, he needs to put on the pressure of the head so the block starts dropping. And it basically just keep on the head hunt for a little bit, like Doc said, and then start going to the body when he least expects it. Maybe a few of those lead body uppercuts that are, they come out so fast and they're so hard to read. But he gets again, and Pettis is pouring on the pressure. Ginja is making him pay for every shot he lands to the body.
Johnson still firing back, though, effectively finding the overhand and the uppercut. But look at this. Ginga Ninja throwing some incredibly creative strikes. But look at that. Fundamentals. 1-2 down the pipe does land. Overhand not there. Partially blocked from Johnson. The Menace likely going to survive or not. Big moment here from Ginga Ninja.
This is definitely not where he wants to be on the fence, Doc. What do you think he needs to do to turn this fight in his favor? He's obviously gone down the well too many times. How do you think he can pull this out?
Make it dirty. Always the case, when you're losing a fight, make it dirty, make it gritty. That's kind of what Omoplata needs to do. He needs to make Ginger work for his finish. He needs to come up with maybe some type of just something to make him worried about those hands. That's probably what Johnson's mainly got in the pocket as well, the hands, so he just needs to box a bit more.
Oh, beautiful offering from Ginga Ninja. Body is busted for Omoplata. Absolutely agree with you. The tactical adjustment that I would suggest would have to be pressure and standing your ground a little bit. Omoplata's doing a lot of circling and a lot of evading. Oh, can't evade that. Big moment from Ninja.
Yeah, it might be a too little too late at the end of the day. It's definitely looking gruesome for Omoplata. That body work has definitely not turned in his favor, and it only made it worse. And he's been cracked to the chin, cracked to the body. He's definitely looking worse for wear. What do you think, Doc?
Yeah, this has been Ginger's side. He's having a very tough time. Players having a very tough time finding an opening instead. With Ginger mixing up between like kickboxing and the boxing's done a lovely job, but just in general controlling the side. Expected to finish quite soon, if I'm honest. Like playing some aggressive, not really showing his distance either, and then Ginger's coming in just picking his shots well timed.
You know, they sort of trade distance management within the center of the octagon, but once Omoplata gets pushed behind that black line, Ginger does such a good job of cage cutting and finding angles and not really letting Johnson escape. You just can't get away from Ginga Ninja when your back is against the cage, but look at that. He's putting the pressure to Ginga Ninja right now. Omoplata landing with a few combinations, but big spinning offering from Showtime.
Yeah, it's definitely something he needs to watch.
Big check, most significant moment for Omoplata.
But he's got to worry about all that range that Pettis has. He's giving him too much respect and just... He works the body, but again, that's a bit worrisome because he dipped out too much. But
Omoplata!
This could be a huge comeback for him. He's definitely seen some adversity, but now he's just pouring on the pressure. He's definitely had to do this early and often, but now it's a little bit later in the fight. He could possibly turn in his favor. Doc, this is definitely a crazy thing, but it's not unheard of.
Oh!
Yeah,
big knockdown for Ginga Ninja. Up kick there for Omoplata. 60 seconds remain. Showtime's been touched with almost a show-stopping moment. Omoplata still very much in this, has accumulated a ton of damage. Can't see the long term, but in the short term, Doc, he's throwing bombs.
Indeed, Ginger's having a struggle now. He's got a lovely defensive takedown here, looking for it. Gets a double uppercut, and then goes straight for that ground pound. This is looking heavy, and he finishes it.
It's all over. It's all over. Ginga Ninja faced the adversity in that second round and was able to come back, get the knockdown, and get the finish.
Yeah, it's definitely, it was a little bit too late, too little too late. At the end of the day, he had some great pressure on later on in the second round, but he should have done that from the beginning and we could have possibly seen a win because we have seen Omoplata come back from some adversity with a Michael Johnson pick. But it's definitely nice to see off-meta picks instead of always, you know, top-tier fighters all the time. So it's definitely mad respect to the man just for even bringing it up.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Yves Levine has called a stop to this contest.
Doc, now in terms of adjustments that TK Omoplata can make moving forward from this fight, what would you suggest he works on before he steps back in to the primetime cage?
I'm not really sure. It's definitely that striking. He used to work on that boxing a bit better, and I think it's just in general, Ginger, as you said, basically outclassed him with that kickboxing. Probably had a few more kicks to the game. Maybe not go for the Michael Johnson picks. That seemed to not be as beneficial as it probably would have seemed to be in previous fights as well. But with that, both of them did a good performance, especially with Omoplata making that comeback later on.
Now moving onwards and upwards through primetime 23, BSD Big E versus Pudgy is on deck next. Doc, I'm going to let you run through each of these competitors. Tell me what you know about them.
Big E's making his comeback. Pudgy has been up in the rankings before, all the way back in season 1, making good advancements in his striking, in his grappling, predominantly a striker. I'm not particularly sure when it comes to Big E, but Big E's has been making waves recently as far as I'm aware, so it'd be good to see these two in the cage and fight.
See what division. I look down momentarily. Which weight class will we be contesting this one at?
I think it was a mirror match, Dustin Poirier again, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, Gaethje versus Poirier. Highlight versus the Diamond. We saw this one go down in Glendale, Arizona several years ago. The Diamond got the better of that one, but it was a very close contest. Let's see, running it back, Doc, who's going to take it tonight?
Oh, my bet would be Pudgy, but as we've seen how any of these fights to go, they can move away. Gaethje pick versus Poirier. Gaethje's got the power. Poirier has got the power, speed, leg kicks. He's got everything. Same as Gaethje. The only difference is Poirier can grapple. I don't think Pudgy's going to take it down, to be honest. So, with this said, it's a striking matchup, probably for the ages.
It's interesting when you look at the striking attributes on both sides. In the stand-up realm, Dustin the Diamond Poirier is better everywhere except for takedown defense and then kick power and speed. So all of the things with the hands would go to the Louisiana native.
Yeah, it's definitely like Poirier's basically a more well-rounded Gaethje. And these guys are from the same camp, body shot degree, so they probably know each other very well. So it's definitely an interesting fight to see when there's two guys from the same camp and who comes out stronger, because spars are completely from in the spotlight.
The Diamond sparkling in some of these striking exchanges, really flowing in this first round, touching the chin of Gaethje. Gaethje also an Arizonan native, so fighting in his home state, couldn't get it done then. Maybe coming into this, Doc, with a little bit revenge, you know, has to avenge that loss.
Yeah,
Oh!
That's a hairy shot there. Lovely counter on that shot. Digging down to that body, doing what his camp name is entitled. Coming back into his pocket, trading.
Oh!
Happy trade gets clipped by the Gaethje's power, digs to that body, then comes back up the top. A bit of separation, trying to restay themselves with a lovely lead elbow just to make it known the elbows are there.
Like the diversification, right? Showing different looks. And that's what you need to do when you're facing serious adversity so early in a fight. You have to just throw out so much data to process, overload the servers of the competitor. But overloading is what Pudgy is doing. Great stun into a level change, full guard, posture up. Lets him back up.
I don't know about letting him back up. He has the more superior advantage, you know, definitely on the ground, especially in the full guard. But at the end of the day, maybe, you know, they reached a gentleman's agreement and they want to end it on the feet.
Oh, big stick there by Big E. That right hand definitely working for him at times this opening round. But Pudgy, the one who's been more consistent, more effective, more significant.
Indeed, well, both of them are starting to throw elbows out a bit more, knowing that they're in the pocket, knowing those could hit. Both using head movement a bit, probably using those elbows, in fact, just to try clip on the head, and it does a lot of damage when you lean to the side and get clipped by one. Slip straight by Big E's, also causing a bit of issues, especially when Pudgy's going down straight down the barrel with that jab lead, jab straight.
Would like Big E to throw more leg kicks. They're so powerful from the Arizonan and so useful at disrupting your competitor. In this second round, the second set of 5 minutes, I would really enjoy to see some shin-to-shin action, or well, hopefully shin to thigh, or lower thigh, or calf. So many different options for him. Throw those leg kicks.
And definitely not to harp on it again, but I would like to see some more lead or backhand body uppercuts. They open up so much. It's definitely, like you said, going to the leg kicks. It's a good mix-up, but if they start reading it, they can possibly fall into those body uppercuts as well.
Damage being done for the Diamond. You can see the head health on Gaethje not really where you want it to be starting off this second round. Pudgy done a pretty good job of monitoring it. Look at that! Oh! Pudgy with the knockout KO puts Big E to big sleep.
That was definitely a caster's curse moment on my part. As soon as he lands that one body uppercut, he gets uppercut right into the chin. And just crap.
That elbow, I think, knocked him out first with the uppercut.
I know, it's like, well, okay. Yeah, I thought it was an uppercut, but at the same time, I've done this before. Like, the one time I wanted to see an elbow, somebody gets knocked out, and now I asked for the body uppercut, and we finally see it only for him to get knocked out. So it's definitely Curse
The highlight joining the reel of Dustin the Diamond Poirier and Pudgy. Great performance from him, truly complete. Did get done, did have the adversity, of course, a great competitor, but he really had a ton of control in those striking exchanges and was cognizant defensively, as Doc was mentioning, those elbows and mixing it up and diversifying the arsenal of strikes gets it done on Primetime 23. Moving forwards into the card, it's Tony time versus Kingsmen Intro. KM Intro, truly a crafty striker. This guy is skilled. Everybody in that KM camp is a problem on the feet. However, Doc, I'm going to let you tell me about Tony time.
Well, he's made recent waves coming in with a pretty good fighting off record. He's done a fantastic job coming in, making himself known with a 1-0 record against Braro, who we saw compete earlier today with the grappling. So we do know he's a very well-versed. He was able to cover at least the limited grappling, but as you said earlier, Intro is the striker. So you expect to take some defeat, especially with Diaz versus Masvidal pick. This is bound to be an interesting fight.
Yeah, as we saw it in real life, it was a brutal brawl, and this time we don't have any doctor stoppages in this game, and hopefully we don't in the near future. So it's definitely going to go the full distance, and somebody's getting knocked out tonight.
Masvidal versus Diaz, obviously, as mentioned, was a fight that was contested. Masvidal really took it to the Stockton native, but Tony time looking to maybe bring a bit more into the octagon than Diaz did that night.
Indeed. Well, it starts out here using that straight of Diaz, which is always lovely because it kind of tracks even when you use head movement like ducking down. So that's something to be aware of. Doubling up on that jab, then followed by a straight. KM Intro seems to be wary of that, just taking his block and then looking for like short, quick shots in the pocket. Lovely job there with that.
Catches him and he leads with a head kick, but he pays for it. He gets a little too greedy and it sets up a very easy takedown. And right now he does not want to be on his back. Masvidal has it's not the best ground game off his back. He has top grounds. He has top ground better. It's like a 90, if I believe. But at the same time, I do not believe he has any advantage on the ground in this aspect, and he's definitely getting worked. He's pulling away with the escape, so he just bails on it. But at the same time, you do not want Diaz on top of you.
I think it's more the case don't want Diaz underneath you, but in that vein, when you're playing Masvidal, that is that point to make that he's even top game's kind of scary when you've got a guy who can pull out rubber guard submissions, some decent ground and pound to be fair. So, and right here, I think this is where it's Tony time's going to feel comfortable, especially when taking the fact of how the beginning of the round took out.
A lot of success here and control time accumulating for that red corner. Game bred, definitely throwing things and feinting to get back to the feet. 2 minutes remain in this opening round, unsuccessful up until this point. Doc, what would you maybe offer to Masvidal to be able to make this a striking match once more?
Fake the feet on hips, what he's doing, punch. Maybe look for that full guard transition into either the half guard sweep, get that momentum transition. Just you want to hold Diaz in full guard. The safest place to be when you're on bottom is that full guard.
Yeah, it's definitely overall just not a great place to be. But at the same time, like you said, you just don't want Diaz on his back because he's a lot more dangerous. But at the same time, as you're seeing it, he definitely doesn't want him on top either. And he keeps trying for those naked transitions, and it's not working for him. He definitely needs to feint, possibly let his GA build up. But it's still a scary thing to have anyone with that kind of experience on top of you.
Tony time doing so much good work in this opening round. Have to imagine in the second set of 5 minutes that we will likely see another level change from him, potentially off of KM Intro's striking attempts as we saw in this first round. But who knows? KM Intro needs to keep this standing submission attempt to close the first round easily. A 10-9 to the red corner.
Yeah, he definitely rocked him early on, but at the same time, like you said, that ground game was beautiful. He just kept him and just worked that control time. Doc, what do you think Masvidal is going to have to do? He definitely doesn't want to get taken to the ground. Should he shorten up his strikes or what?
What? If you're master down, you know someone's looking for takedown, pressure, and keep your combo short. That's what you want. You want to be pressuring, you want to keep your combo short, and you want to make sure you don't gas yourself out just to allow that spear like he did in round 2. And Diaz is going to be hunting for that takedown, which means his striking isn't going to be as crisp as it normally would be as well. So it does allow the opening for that striking. As I say, that he double legs bail into tries to do a pull guard sweep, but instead head kick followed by
intro. Thundering head kick, shin to chin action from the Kingsman. Slip straight lands as well. Tony Time, worse for wear, is down. Intro coming in hot. Stands back up, 3:45 left in the second round. Starting off incredibly effective for Intro. This is what he needs. This is what he wants. Can't get taken down. Needs to keep this standing. Tony Time gets it to the mat.
But at the same time, that was a beautiful knockdown as well. And we finally saw that head kick hit, and he didn't pay for it that time. But at the end of the day, if it stays on the feed, he might have to change his name to Ending Credits, because Intro is on fire tonight and just landing those beautiful bombs, trying to close out this fight.
Monoros has the best line I've heard you ever say.
It could be the worst moment possible if he can't get back up on the feet, even though he's already got that knockdown. If anything can happen if you have Diaz on top of you, and he gets a beautiful reversal. My advice for him would be just to try and stand up immediately, because he had so much success, but he chooses side control. Maybe if he's trying, there he goes. He's going for the stand-up, and Doc, he's definitely showing us some really good defensive work now. So definitely, what do you think he can do to close this out?
Well, he's down in case he's got the knockdown. He's probably won the round. If he can just keep it maybe in a full guard, just so the Diaz can't get any control time, then maybe he stands a chance of winning this round. But instead, he gets a denial here. That's a very risky denial. And he gets this top man position. Diaz can do some ground and pound, hopefully get a bit more slim. To go gets denied though. Lovely job by Intro getting to that half guard as well.
Intro clearly versed in all aspects of the game, mixed martial arts. It's in the name. But, you would want to see a better ability to get back to the feet and pop up and not allow the control time to just accumulate. And look, these peppering strikes are just adding to the total that Tony Time has accumulated. But interesting question for you, gentlemen, as we approach what will likely be a third and final round, as Intro's getting punched in the face. Good. That was great ground and pound. That was good ground and pound. Still, I think we're gonna get a final 5 minutes. In terms of judging this one, great reversal to end this. In terms of judging this 5 minutes, the knockdown versus the control time, UFC 4 largely prefers effective and significance over anything else. Doc, Anna Rose, who do you think stole the second round?
I think. That's a hard one, Doc. I'll let you go ahead. I still have to think about it.
Well, coming into this final round, it's 1-1, and I imagine if Intro can get like one big significant strike off, get a knockdown, get something, I think he wins.
Tony Time slapped him. Tony Time stuck and slapped KM Intro.
I wonder what you were screaming about, to be honest.
The disrespect showed is definitely going to get into his head just a little bit as he is suffering the oppressive pressure of Diaz back on the ground. He's definitely...
Great get up.
I think it's a 1-1, and he just needs to stay up and possibly just piece him up at this point. If he can't get the knockout, he can definitely work the stand-up, but he definitely does not want to be right here, right now.
He's doing a good job making this day. It's exactly what he needs. In fact, like, as a Diaz player, you can't compete with mass down striking. You can just about compete with the grappling on top in terms of top game. And I think he's just looking for this control time and get a bit of damage. But he's looking just to run down the clock now, buying this to a decision.
I believe so. Tony Time, like you said, making this a dog fight, getting it ugly, getting close, and just grappling KM Intro's head off. You can see the KM members, the Kingsmen in the chat, really trying to rally their guy, suggest things, and it's just tough to see when you have the support of your community and you're having a difficult performance like this, where you try to do all the things that you've been practicing and training for, but it's just not working out inside the octagon. Great denial there from Intro. Let's see what he can do with it. Tony Time likely going to transition side control right there. Good work from him. 2 minutes remain. KM Intro needs a big moment.
Yeah, it's definitely Intro is definitely suffering right now, and it's not an ideal position for him, sure, but at the same time, if he gets back on the feet one time, it could possibly change the whole fight with one knockdown or even just a KO. So he has to try and get up to his feet, avoid this submission, and possibly just get out of there overall. But it's definitely not going to be easy with someone like it's Tony Time on top of you.
Tony Time has made this dirty. He's taking it slow, even on the striking. He may have suffered, but he's just prolonged it. He's not active. He's looking for position over damage, and that's kind of the way you want to play it, especially when you're fighting someone like Intro. I say that.
KM Intro pops back up. 30 seconds remain. Diaz firing off a combination. Intro needs a big finish. Needs to not go to the ground. Stops the takedown. Denied. Here comes KM Intro. 10 seconds remain. He needs a huge moment. Go for broke. Intro, the Kingsmen are rallying. Oh!
Down could have stolen him the round. That could be big right there. This is possibly the ending he needed. Not to highlight on my own joke from originally, but this is possibly
that could go either way. I don't know.
KM Intro made
close.
the most of those 30 seconds. Hearing the decision, let's see who gets their hand raised. KM Intro! It's the decision.
Credits roll through, and there is no teaser this time.
Wow, it's Tony Time putting on such an effective grappling display, a clinic at times with the dominance that the red corner had, but KM Intro made the moments, and they were big. Those knockdowns were effective. I wish that he was able to string together more consistency, but when you're fighting a guy who is content and dedicated to go to the ground and take you down, and as Doc mentioned, and as I will reiterate, make it dirty. You need to make the most of those opportunities, which KM Intro did. Absolute great performance to steal back that fight and walk away with the W. Kingsman, your guy is victorious. Onwards and upwards with the card, we will continue. The next one that we've got for you guys is a banger. LFC Scatter versus MoffatMan. Doc, take it away.
Oh, it's a good fight. LFC Scatter making his first debut of season, coming off a loss to Jakey. So, and he's a grappler himself, so maybe not as high level Jack as words, they've completely gone.
They're hard, they're difficult.
Burns and Thompson, that kind of says it all. Scad picking the Thompson pick, so this should be interesting. Burns a grappler with power punches, bit on the short side though, so you'll mention he wants to play the inside that. He doesn't have as well as footwork. So in terms of Burns, it's an odd pick, especially against the Thompson, in my opinion.
You know, I've seen this matchup play out many times before in competitive scenes. Big moment there from Burns. He has 95 punching power. Thompson, Wonderboy with 91, but the reach for Wonderboy is impressive. Large advantage there. And the footwork is 99 versus the Burns 90. So in moving around and laterally circling the octagon and finding angles as Wonderboy does, you gotta move and groove. Eats a shot there. Scatter. Big whiff, Doc.
I mean, if you're going to kickbox with Thompson, you'll make sure you land. Otherwise, you're going to end up getting countered. As you said, that 95 punch power is nothing to dismiss. Because that is hits hard, he hits well.
Yeah, I definitely tried Burns recently, and he's definitely nothing to scoff about. If you stick with him in
the
overhand.
The MoffatMan with a big overhand. Dorino putting on the pressure.
He doesn't land the kick that could have closed it out very early in the first round, but is definitely something of a confidence booster right there as he lands that huge strike.
Scatter does not appear to have the distance found yet. The tempo is not achieved. However, Burns, the MoffatMan, appears to be a bit more in the driver's seat, locked and loaded, high caliber action. Another overhand lands on the chin of Wonderboy.
I mean, He's definitely feeling the burns right now. I'm so sorry for making that joke, but but at the end of the day, it's also completely reasonable to say so because as of now, he is flat on his back, and as a Wonder Boy player that used to play him, it's definitely not a place you want to be for sure. So he definitely needs to think of something.
Wonder Boy definitely getting scorched in this first 5 minutes. Burns with the flames and fire, the thunder and lightning. Doc, it seems that Dorino and MoffatMan are a good combination. Coffee and cream.
Indeed. Well, it's a lovely job here. Comes out with the striking, takes it down and grappling within the last 2 minutes. It's kind of what you wanted as well, especially when you take into account that Burns doesn't have the recovery and his chin is kind of sketchy on a good day. So a couple of shots. That's another thing though. Probably looking second round because I imagine this won't come and won't get finished here, especially with like a minute left and Wonder Boy doing a fantastic job at just keeping himself busy on the ground to just allow that damage not to be taken.
Like butter, Dorino sliding through the guard into side control, dominant, advantageous as we approach the final stretch of the opening round. Crucifix position, 30 remain. Elbows are coming. Big moment for the MoffatMan. Have to think the 4.5-star grappling of Burns versus the 3-star grappling of Wonder Boy always going to serve the Brazilian. However, one thing that won't is an 88 recovery, Doc. Going into the fight as the rounds progress, Burns might be worse for wear.
He might be worse for wear, but he's up around, and that's all you need. If you can start with that beginning round and you get up it, that normally builds up your confidence. Coming to that second round, you're a little more confident than the other guy. Other guy's a bit more tentative, and so you can really open up other avenues of work to do it. He's allowing Thompson to keep that distant drag in, using that psychic. Comes out, hit with a massive overhand. That, like, as he does the headroom, getting a bit more damage than you usually would from the vulnerability, and now instead starts putting on pressure. Another overhand. That overhand
just can't miss.
It really can't. Gets to a spinning back fist though. This is a fight and a half.
So quick, I wonder where was that combination. Dorino didn't even know how to eat it. Eats another though.
Chin Burns apparently wants to stay solid this time around, and Wonder Boy takes his back. And normally don't you see that? Attempts a rear naked choke and gets out of this.
Have not seen Wonder Boy climb onto the back of many competitors. Big overhand once again. The MoffatMan with the power and the precision to keep Wonder Boy on his toes. The ice is thawing out for Stephen Thompson as he climbs onto the back. What is this? What is this? Wonder Boy backpacking Dorino. Burns is just, what?
That's an
MoffatMan.
one. I can't say I've ever seen that before.
Look at that huge stamina drain for that. I mean, yeah, definitely we've never seen
and
Wonder
he goes for an armbar.
With no
stamina. Right.
This is Scatter is looking to absolutely diversify the game plan, trying everything and anything to get back into this. I respect the adjustments, but your best bet is on the feet, Scatter. You caught Burns earlier with a beautiful spinning back fist combination. Continue that work in the striking realm because you're just letting moments get away from you. He has the first round. I would be going for effective striking. Another guillotine attempt from Wonder Boy. The submissions, that's 2 now, Doc.
Indeed. Well, an armbar now attempting to guillotine on a Burns. The submission offense, I can't remember from my head, or the submission defense, but I imagine Burns take it in both regards, to be fair. And with this, it's actually fairly tight. It's a very good submission, might I add. Get a denial off. You can normally get yourself into a top man position. Instead, you're now stuck in a north-south choke, and Burns has the top position.
This is not good for Wonder Boy. A minute and 10 to work for Dorino, and we all know the grappling ace, the jits whiz that guy is. Scatter does regain the half guard, but Honoros, what do you think that the blue corner needs to do? Big get up right there. Exactly that. Back to the feet we go.
He definitely needs to find his range. He's having trouble keeping it because Burns, you know, has that. He's sidestepping most of those huge kicks that he's throwing out. He needs to shorten up
He just has an overhand.
Little bit.
He just has a painful overhand.
Yeah, it only takes one at the end of the day, but he's taken 2 or 3, so who knows? He might just get out of this, but it's definitely a roll switch if I'm gonna say it myself. seeing seeing Wonder Boy go for takedowns and ground control, and basically seeing Burns just try to stand up and fight. It's definitely a role reversal.
What that tells me, and what we can all obviously conclude on just the optics alone, he's searching for answers. He is panicking with the game plan he came in with, not happy with it, and needs to change it up, and feels like, you know, I got to do the absolute opposite end of the spectrum. But one thing to offer up, 98 accuracy for Wonder Boy, 93 for Burns, but MoffatMan, the more effective striker. As I say it, here comes the MoffatMan, so close to being finished, is
Kicks that leg
scattered.
out finally. This is a massive issue for Thompson. Goes straight for that grappling approach, gets him against the cage. This is Burns playing the defensive grappling. It's kind of what you normally would expect, especially when you pick Burns player anyway, especially against other grapplers. It's kind of why you pick Burns as that defensive grappling. He has one of the best defensive grapplings in the welterweight division. Gets up, holds out top guard, full guard. Pro looks for the posture up and then the get up easily, but I could be wrong. Wants to keep it down on the ground to keep this fight going.
Thompson did get up. Oh, MoffatMan lets him up. He does want the finish, I believe. Big slip moment for him. 3:30 left in the fight. Let's see what MoffatMan can do.
Oh! He lands that high kick he was looking for all the fight. He finally lands it. It does some obscene damage. But Wonder Boy gets the reversal, and he's going for he's fishing for that armbar again and gets denied. But this is definitely still something we don't usually see, so it's kind of confusing, honestly.
It's definitely comical. The Scatter's approach to choosing Wonder Boy. You have to think maybe he misclicked when he was selecting the fighter. Big rubber guard. Look at the transition. Great work from Dorino. MoffatMan likely going to try and stand back up, potentially continue the work on the feet. Oh, denies the get up. Never mind.
Goes for a proving necktie instead. Looks to be fairly good on tracking, keeping, but decides to ditch it instead. Probably not as comfortable as he would be. There's always got the giddy attempt, as I said earlier. It's a very strong submission, I find. And that Thompson gets him against the cage in the backup. Maybe looks for another backpack as we saw earlier, but instead Burns escapes and now he's getting knee to the head.
We have seen comebacks already in this card. KM Intro stealing that fight.
Oh, I don't remember seeing the comeback there with a massive overhand transitioning into that half guard position. Burns taking the dominant position, doesn't actually deny the full guard transition, and now full guard. Thompson's in the full guard of Burns.
Wonder Boy trying to survive Honoros final 60 seconds. What's your take of this third round?
Well, it's definitely an unusual one for sure. But at the end of the day, you know, personal skill outshines certain picks to where it actually works. And who knows what we'll see. I definitely don't know yet.
30 seconds left. MoffatMan taunting gamesmanship from the competitor. Likely another overhand coming soon. He wants to end it. He wants to add to the reel. Can he do it? 10 seconds left. Where is the overhand? It's going to come soon. Moffat, one more strike. And it's a leg kick.
Leg kick.
All right.
That was a bit anticlimactic.
I thought he was going to really go for broke and get
like, oh, it's a leg.
Either way, what a complete performance from Dorino. The Brazilian absolutely pinpoint with so many of the strikes on the feet and controlled every aspect for the most part on the ground. Look at this beautiful capitalization off of a whiff from Scatter. The MoffatMan going home with a victory tonight.
You would hope so, at least.
Could you imagine?
All three judges score this
You never know.
30-27.
UFC full judging system.
Wrestling Wonder Boy taking a W would be very unheard of, but we don't get to see it. But we are about to.
MoffatMan is the taker in this one. Good shit.
Yeah,
Unsurprisingly, you can see strikes totally were in MoffatMan's favor, 92. I didn't see what Wonder Boy's was, but I know it was less. The knockdowns were occurring multiple times throughout. I have to think too. Scatter, and advice would be smarter with the pick. Be smarter with the pick. Know a fighter inside and out, and know that you won't have to completely adjust to the other end of the spectrum if your initial game plan doesn't work. A through C are the game plans that you need to have. You need to have that prepped before the fight. You know, go in with A. If it's not working out midway through the first, you say, okay, I'm gonna go to B. But it's not light years away. You went A to Z. That's not. That's not what you do with Wonder Boy.
Let's be honest though. That was a crowd favorite right there. I have never seen that before. Over all of my at least year of commentating, I have never seen something like that. So it's definitely something to watch out for. And in my opinion, both men played well. You know, he definitely showed some gamesmanship and definitely something we've never seen. So overall, brilliant performance by both gentlemen.
Fun fight, and we'll continue in the next one on the card. East Side versus TK Mike Tran. Doc, you're up.
Well, Mike Tran, brilliant all-rounder, and particularly, I believe, is a striker in most cases, has competed in the Xbox Grand Prix last week with a win over Steve, a loss to Misso. So, again, two very well-versed strikers managed to beat Steve, who is very known as a good striker. Eastside, on the other hand, is 1-2 with a win over Havoc from a previous card all the way back in Fight Night 8. So with this, it's a good time to show. Imagine they're both strikers, especially with the pick of Gaethje to Poirier. This is all to play for.
All to play, a lot of coins on the table. Let's see whose pocket they're going into. Poirier versus Gaethje, already seen this one earlier in Primetime 23, went to the diamond in emphatic fashion. Eastside versus Tran. Mike, I know that he is a very competent Gaethje player, utilizes those leg kicks as you've already seen within this first minute of the round, touching up the body and the legs of the Louisianan.
Well, both of them are playing the kickboxing style. Mike Tran digging into that leg several times. Eastside has got to be wary of them. Checks bomb finally. And instead goes for a takedown, gets denied, and now Gaethje's probably looking to dig to that body and head. Does so. Throws a head kick afterwards, and now digging into that leg again. He's got to be wary that doesn't get checked too much.
Oh, Eastside did have a bit better of a job checking, but you can see he's lost that timing of it. Oh, Mike Tran, the big two down the middle, comes up with a left. Eastside letting. Oh, big check from Eastside. You can see the damage to the head is beginning for the diamond, but huge head kick from Highlight. Not one to go away is Mike Tran. Another check on deck on a roast.
Yeah, it's definitely Mike Tran has been somewhat of the fan favorite. You know, Cyrez loves to harp on, he called him Mike Tran from the beginning, and he's definitely a wild card at the end of the day. And ooh, beautiful hit Side's head, and he's definitely needs to check his compass to avoid that next time. But it's it's huge overall, because we saw this fight originally before, but now we're seeing the tide turn just a little bit.
This is a kickboxing match with a couple of nice boxing combats around it. Sorry to cut you off there, Bane.
Oh, all good, all good.
The leg kicks have been a major issue, though, for both opponents.
Check. You can see here, though, the checks are doing a lot more damage than the leg kicks were for Mike Tran. Needs to maybe adjust and set those up, feint a little bit. Eastside going for a leg kick. Was going to say Mike Tran hitting Eastside from all cardinal directions, north, south, west, and east. He is firing on all cylinders. 60 seconds remain in the opening round. Mike Tran versus Eastside. Have to think Tran having more success, but those checks are significant. Oh, as I say, another check. Look at this, Mike Tran standing and banging even though he's stunned. Talk about the heart of a lion. 30 seconds remain in this first 5, and he is looking a bit worse for wear. Now he's feeling the leg kicks. Look at this, but Eastside gets stunned.
Both of them are blinking, both of them are throwing shots, and with this final 7 seconds left in the first round, both of them are heavily damaged and probably only like 1 or 2 more shots before they fall over.
If I remember correctly, Bane, you remember the Xbox Grand Prix, and you saw that one player's legs that were completely done, blinking. Like, we had never seen that before. And it's a possibility, you know, he might have to switch stance, and if he does it to him again, it's gonna be crazy. I don't know if you quite remember that one. I do believe it was a Gaethje fight into a Dustin Poirier, if I'm not mistaken.
interesting. The leg kick heavy approach from Mike Tran in the first 5 worked out against him. You can see that right leg of his is so much worse for wear than the left or right of Poirier.
But it's getting very close. But at the same time, he has to worry about that lead leg now. He can't really exactly use it at this point. If it gets touched once, or if he keeps going for it, it's going to definitely cost him. But as I say that, Eastside's having pretty much the same problem with his own. But it's just the constant pressures not letting Eastside, mix up his combos, throw his strikes. And Gaethje is one of the best strikers.
Eastside in the pocket.
He definitely found his groove in that pocket. But at the same time, he's definitely backing up just a little bit too much, in my opinion. Showing a little bit too much respect to the Gaethje pick from Mike Tran.
Indeed, I imagine both of them have stopped with the major leg kicks, since both of the legs are kind of fucked, to be fair. Lovely pullback by Eastside, looking for the counter but doesn't get it. Throws an overhand and seen how powerful last fight and instead misses.
Yeah, at the end of the day, this just looks like a horrible way to go out, both.
Oh! Mike Tran, the Mike Tran comes in, big head kick, stuns Eastside from the west. I believe that was thrown, causes a level change. You can see Eastside recognize the need to take this to the mat and minimize the damage that he could potentially take. That left leg, or right leg, I apologize, on Mike Tran is blinking like a Christmas tree though.
But you still don't want Gaethje on top of you. He's just got those heavy hands no matter what. And with with the sizable stamina disadvantage, he definitely doesn't want to be here as well. But he did posture up questionably right there with pretty much little stamina to spare already. He's already got that disadvantage, but this is where he needs to be for a little bit. Try to slow him down.
The Diamond has submissions on the record. We know he loves that jumping guillotine. This time around, an arm triangle. 50 seconds remain. Does not seem like he's going to get it. That escape bar is almost full, Doc.
But it definitely scores some points.
It's more just about the control time, to be fair. The submissions allow you to get control time with weight. Like, even if you've got a leg lock in the full guard, you're still going control time. Max, the main point of submissions, apart from a few more from side control, go from the top mount, and a few other ones which are also banned, like the rear naked choke from back, sit inside, side and arm triangle. I understand you get it.
Yeah, sadly, when we were at the Xbox Grand Prix, we saw one person disqualified for even. He didn't necessarily attempt the standing guillotine, but like we say, he did walk the dog and use that to his advantage, and he got suspended for it. I do believe it was Pigeon Scout.
Unfortunate decision-making on his part. Thankfully, we are avoiding those illegal, obviously, moves tonight for the most part. Eastside, though, not avoiding these strikes. Catching him everywhere is Mike Tran pushing forward. The pressure has been consistent through 10, and it seems in the final 5, it's going to be the game plan for the hype train. Mike Tran coming forward, throwing strikes, but Eastside is down. Big T right there momentarily stops Mike Tran, and the assault, the offensive onslaught of the red corner. Gaethje, the highlight coming forward, big lead up, uppercut right over the top. Look at this, Tran pouring it on.
This is a back and forth fight. I believe that lead leg is the one blinking for Poirier, and he probably should switch, I imagine, but Gaethje's continuing to throw, put on that pressure, gets a knockdown and starts layering on this pressure again, dings that body coming up, both of them using that lead uppercut as their main offensive weapon.
Left leg compromised, it's been neutralized, it's been affected and destroyed by Mike Tran. Look at this, Eastside can barely stand. Huge head kick, this could be it. Mike Tran pouring it on. 3 remain, Eastside staying alive, but for how long? Level change is right there for him. Side control on Aros.
Yeah, it's definitely something again to say is he does not want to be here, definitely in side control or half guard. He gets first, beautiful reversal by Eastside, and now he's just pouring on that damage.
Beautiful transition there from the highlight. Gaethje going for the guillotine, potentially. Mike Tran offering a submission midway through the third. You can see Poirier, defensive awareness is on point. East side not going to get tapped out, but will he get knocked out? Mike Tran with the check, though. Leg is hurting on his side. Good check return.
Yeah, he
And now
just
they're both-
bucks forward, hurt already, but he does not care.
Oh!
As long as my chin's intact.
These guys have been swinging bombs from the opening bell. Big catch from the east side and returned. Head kick rocks Mike Tran. East side not going away easily.
Both of them got the boxing. Poirier's head help seems to want to concentrate. Blinking clips him with that rear uppercut, putting on his pressure again. And with this, I'm just tempted. I want to see a rolling thunder.
Oh, again! East side.
For rolling thunders. But now it's definitely, look at that leg. It's basically reminiscent of that one fight in the Xbox Grand Prix. Literally,
Mike Tran, 3 knockdowns in the last minute. Can he find the finish? He's searching for it. 20 seconds remain. Head kick partially blocked from east side. The time is over.
And he gets it with 16 seconds left. A clean straight down the barrel. On that pullback, finally read all the counters.
That's always a great feeling to find that one shot you needed to possibly end the entire game. He wasn't confident that he might have gotten the win, even though he definitely had some really good moves out of it. But yeah, it's definitely a huge statement to close it out like that.
Tran plunges through the station of the opponent. Big cross right down the middle, sends Poirier to unconsciousness. Beautiful performance from Mike Tran. Really complete all the rounds in that one. The 15 minutes that was contested, Tran was in front and just throwing with such precision and timing and speed, and the leg kicks. This is what we talked about earlier with the Poirier and Gaethje fight on Primetime 23 that was contested some time ago. Was the leg kicks are so good from Justin Gaethje. If utilized properly, Mike Tran went to the school of leg kicks and learned a thing from it.
Both of them started very heavy out in the leg kicks in round 1. Both of their legs decided to go down. Mike Tran went back to it in round 3. Both of them focusing on the boxing during round 2, and with that, they both did a fantastic performance, going back and forth.
To get deeper into this card to continue, I mean, that was, if you need to take a break, take a sip of water, go to the bathroom. That was an all-out war for 15 minutes. But we're gonna have another one, because up next is going to be ICB Lepo versus Shane.
Now part of the new camp by the name of Technical Pressure. We saw Tabarak earlier, back all the way in the early prelims, being a TP member. Lepo started up his own camp with TP and as TP, Technical Pressure and Tabarak. So this is going to be an interesting fight. Picks an Nate Diaz pick of versus an Edwards. So I got to think that Lepo is very confident in himself here.
I feel like you definitely had to make, the abbreviation call out, because as soon as you said TP, I immediately thought of toilet paper. I don't know why. And I was like, I hope that's not what they're calling themselves, because we're in a massive shortage of it right now.
Shane with the Leon Edwards pick, the Brit doing good work through the first minute of this fight, staying on the outside and circling, finding angles and point fighting. But Nick Diaz is such a great boxer. I have to think to several of his past performances when he was competing. The daily fight stands out to me. What a one-round war that was, and speaks to the hands that this competitor has. Interesting to see how Shane's going to deal with it, but so far, doing good, Doc.
Indeed, Shane's maintaining a composure, just letting Diaz control the distance. I think Diaz is a slightly bit longer, but again, he's using that jab effectively, just kicking him, keeping him, just taking little pot shots. That's all he needs to do in the first round. Probably looks to be making this a 3-round fight, I imagine. Good
boxing there. Little go to the body, go to the head from Diaz. Edwards blocked the second combination, fires a 1-2 down the pipe. I love how Edwards and Shane are working off of that jab so effectively. That right hand being pumped out like a piston. We see it kind of emerging a lot more in the MMA scene, not surprisingly, because it's so effective. Great work there from Shane.
And man, it's definitely a great fight to see. It's kind of similar to what we're gonna see in real life, you know, with Nate Diaz versus Leon Edwards, but not at the same time, because Nick Diaz has more of a boxing standpoint overall. But every day you kind of want to see these matches, though. It's just a little glimmer, a little, how do you say it, a prediction, if anything.
Lepo's utilized an interesting strategy in his first 5 minutes, standing and commanding the center of the octagon and letting Shane come to him from behind that black line. But it seems that he's kind of losing the majority of these striking exchanges. Shane touching the chin a bit more often than Diaz. I would want to see more volume and aggression from him in the second set of 5 minutes if we get there. 60 seconds remain in the opening round of this fight. Shane versus Lepo. Edwards versus Diaz. Here it is. Shane coming on.
Huge combos, and he gets him very close to done there. It's insane. But at the same time, this is usually what we see from Lepo. He loves the Nick Diaz pick. He gets a lot of damage on himself early in the first round, but then if he can survive the first round, he usually gets that knockout. So we have to see if he can just maybe slow Shane down just a little bit. Because I don't know if you remember the Shane fight where he was Bruce Lee. He went in wild and nearly knocked down his opponent and finished the fight, but he couldn't get it done and got finished himself. But this is the fights he loves. He loves the all-out wars, just trading in the faces. So I do believe it favors Shane at this point.
Now exploring the health of Rocky. 4.5 star health overall, 93 cardio, 92 chin, 96 body, 93 legs, and 91 recovery. So a very solid health department for that fighter. Definitely a guy that if you want to stun him, you want to hurt him, you have to put in the work, which only means Lepo more incentive to be volume focused. They're standing and trading. Whoa. Diaz knocks him down. Lepo taunts the gamesmanship from the red corner.
Yep, that's that traditional Nick Diaz play. He's gonna try to get in your head, and he got that huge rock, so he's definitely in the definitely in the driver's seat right now, so to speak. But he misses that Stockton slap, and it kind of it's definitely not throwing his stamina down the drain just yet. But he needs to clean up those shots just a little bit. Maybe throw some short strikes in the pocket to work with it. And he's doing beautifully right now, as you see the head health blinking. Doc, what do you think Shane has to do to get this fight in his favor again?
But it seems like he's just looking to run out of clock. But imagine just using that jab, keep that distance as you were doing starting the first round. Don't make it a dirty fight. That's what a Diaz wants. He's got that jab, he's got the straight, he's got the boxing even up close to caused hassle. You want to poke at the Diaz and just make him damage to then work your way in. Which I think is what Shane continues to raise his gun. I think he does stand a decent chance of beating Diaz.
Lepo seems like a completely different fighter in this second set of 5 minutes. The urgency has been kicked up to a different level to be more aggressive and to do damage, and he's done just that with that knockdown earlier. Kind of now stepping back a little bit and operating how he did in the first 5, but Shane finding a ton of success as well. I think that this fight in particular displays that whoever is leading, whoever is dictating the pace and starting is going to have the more success. Big clinch here from Edwards. We know how much, how good he is in the clinch. Look at that. He has a little bit worse for wear after that combination.
Indeed. Again, here we see this lovely clinch work by Shane. To the head, making sure he gets the damage off. Breaks off with a minute left, gets nearly head kicked in the face. And again, this has kind of been the name of the game. Lepo's been pressuring, and Edwards has been just taking pot shots back.
Big knee right there. Would like to see some more body work. Haven't really had too much go to the midsection. This one, these boys are head hunting as we approach the final 40 seconds of the second round. Interesting one to score. Have to think that Lepo currently has it with the knockdown, but there's 30 seconds left. Shane could even the playing field with a big moment. Big 2 over the top. Let's see. 20 seconds. Edwards withstanding. Interesting. They've done this several times within the last 2 rounds, just sort of like taking a step back and then planting themselves like a statue. Very interesting, Honoros.
Yeah, they're definitely trying to pocket like you see right there. literally he might have been saved by the bell. I think what they're trying to do is bait each other into just that straight up brawl tactic. And you know as well as I do, once you plant, you have the speed advantage overall instead of somebody coming into striking range.
Indeed. But with this, I think it's one apiece now. Lepo taking the second round, Shane taking the first. Lepo probably has a bit more confidence, a bit more urgency, just do a bit more damage. Lepo's staying on the back foot, but also knows that he needs to win this round. So this could go either way, to be fair. Gets a lovely wobble there, though.
Oh my goodness, that head health is looking dangerously low right now. It's definitely, you know, going back and forth, but as of now, Lepo is getting the advantage. What do you think, Bane?
Yeah, I think that Lepo has turned it up to a different notch. Shane is tasting the hands of Diaz. Those just granite fists are connecting on the chin. Stockton slap not there, but look at this. Edwards still feeling the pressure and aggression out of the Stockton native.
Yeah, that was a beautiful attempt at a pullback counter on that Stockton slap, but he's definitely having trouble with his range right now. He can't trade it. As you see that he gets blocked and that uppercut lands, he just gets out of the way with a beautiful pivot. But this is definitely not where he wants to be. He needs to land those clean strikes from his range. He cannot let Lepo get close at all.
Deep waters for the Englishman. Rocky needs to make something big. 2:30 left, and he's lost every second so far of this third round. And you can see, Rocky Edwards!
Lepo getting that fucking reverse, and he gets the KO.
Shane!
Goodness, what a beautiful comeback. He
Insane.
just, every second of the fight, he looked like he was getting pressured and outstruck and basically just overall countered. And out of nowhere, a beautiful knockout from him just sets the pace to a great night.
Wow.
Great night of fights regardless. I mean, we still have UFC to come. I love these days where we get to see primetime in action and then UFC right after.
Interesting performance, and what an insane finish. The 2 into the high kick. It's sort of similar to Kevin Lee versus Gregor the Gift Gillespie, right? You knock him back, you stun him with the 2, and then the head kick silences them and completely destroys their chances at getting the W. What a fantastic comeback. And he took out Nick Diaz tonight. Diddley and Rocky Edwards. Let's see if he does it against Nate shortly at 263. Either way, onwards and upwards we go. I'm mixing up my order now. LFC Zombie versus Broomstick Doc.
Doc?
Sorry. Off the fairing, apparently. It's been a long time, apparently. Back at it again. So, Zombie, pretty good striker. Broomstick, also a striker. Zombie is a grappler. Apologies, I said striker. He's got a win over Pigeon Scout with a loss to Fadanator. So, it seems like he's a pretty all-round person in Pigeon, especially being a good striker in recent times. So, he definitely has the striking to back it up. On the other hand, that's the wrong bio. Apologies. I'm completely out of it. We lost to Trickzzy.
You're okay.
First title defense. Just commentate the fight. I'll be whacking you in 2 seconds, apparently.
Dustin the Diamond Poirier versus Iron Michael Chandler. Jumping into the attributes on each side. Iron Mike having a reach deficit in this one. The Louisianan enjoying a bit more in the frame. And in the accuracy department, 97 for the Diamond, 92 for Chandler. So Poirier is going to be a bit more precise in the pocket, and he's going to be able to move out of ways that Iron Mike can't. Iron Mike, 89 head movement, 94 for the former interim champion in the Diamond.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing to see, though. We thought we would see this match for the belt eventually, but at the end of the day, you know, Charles Oliveira surprised us all. But as we see this, it's definitely poor. I feel like it's leaning in favor of Zombie with the Dustin Poirier pickup. Sorry, I blanked out for a second. Definitely a crazy weekend for all of us. But it was
back to
lovely takedown by Poirier, getting that turning against the cage, coming into this half guard by Broomstick, making sure to neutralize that side control position, making sure to round punch, faking that goes for the full guard, but gets denied. Zombie now able to either transition to a side control or top mount. Goes to top mount. And with the power of Poirier as well, he's ground and pound's going to be not fun to deal with.
What's interesting when you look at the attributes on each side in the grappling department, Iron Mike really has the advantage everywhere except for the bottom control. 88 for the Diamond, 86 for Iron Mike, former Bellator champion, not having the best bottom control. You would think he's not down there too often. Typically, the ground and pound is coming from him, and it is incredible with the ground strikes, 93. So a lot of power in the hands of Iron Mike when he's on the mat.
Yeah, it's definitely something he cannot be comfortable in that scenario. And Doc, can you think of anything he can do to get out of this very uncomfortable situation? Because it is
he just did it. He got the back take. I was about to suggest a full guard, but instead he gets the back take.
He gets the free back take. That was a bit questionable, but
roll.
I definitely am confused at that because a backside is definitely very easy to counter because it takes so long to get. So definitely a free back take for Michael Chandler.
Jericho in the Twitch chat, who won the Diaz versus Leon? I lagged out. Leon, Rocky Edwards was successful in his play against Nick Diaz. 30 seconds remaining in the opening round of this one. Iron Mike versus the Diamond Dustin Poirier. Eating some short elbows right now is Iron Mike. You can see the posture up is imminent. Broomstick looking to get some damage done. You can see in terms of who is worse for wear as we come into the second set of the 5 minutes. It has to be Iron Mike. Head a little bit worse, and that left leg is suspect, Doc.
Yeah, with that being said, Poirier started out very aggressive in the first, put on the pressure, and then took it down early with return takedowns against Cage, and then started to try the fight. Broomstick did take a top position later on with the last minute left, but didn't get much off. So with this, definitely goes to Zombie, and you imagine he feels a bit more confident coming into this second round.
Oh. Big check right over the top to start things off. Second set of 5 minutes. Broomstick on the back foot. Look at this. Zombie pushing forward. The dead man walking, landing with intentions. But look at this. Iron Mike uppercut into the hooks.
Yeah, it's definitely Michael Chandler. If he stays in the pocket, I feel like it favors him just a bit because, those short arms, short strikes. But at the end of the day, he just keeps getting a beautiful pullback elbow, though. But he does not want Poirier on top of him on the ground.
Doesn't guess his back take
another.
As well.
Broomstick really having success with getting to that back and getting the hooks in, gets the top control. This is not where you want to be if you are the Diamond. Zombie needs to have some urgency to get back to the feet here. Great denial there for the side control. Iron Mike not going to slice through the guard. Let's see what Zombie can do. Grappling advantage largely in his favor, looking for the get up, but Iron Mike not wanting to give it to him. Right hands touching the midsection and the ribs. Postures up. Let's see what he can do.
Indeed, gets out of this position. Zombie's allowed to be on this. He gets a lovely on that low single, and now probably imagine stopping his pressure. Even with the power of Chandler, Poirier can contend with it, and thus makes it a very ill thing to trade with.
Each guy is busted up. You can see the blood pouring and leaking from different wounds that's been suffered in this exchange midway through the second. And this one is hard to score. Broomstick having moments, Zombie having moments. Doc, who would you give this one to at this point in the round?
Seems to be the case that Broomstick is putting on his pressure, but I imagine Zombie's also putting on the pressure. So I don't really say with 2 minutes left, it's still all to play for. You can't really do it unless it's the end of the last 10 seconds. Even an intro showed us that those 10 seconds can be the key way of winning the fight.
And it's such a tough fight because at the end of the day, Dustin, the Diamond Poirier, has so much longer reach. So Michael Chandler is forced to trade in the pocket and, very susceptible to those level changes as well because he can't maintain a range. And as I say that, as soon as he lets off the pressure, he gets taken down. This is definitely not a period at all.
Tough turn of events for Broomstick was having so much success in this second round. And you can see it's going to continue. Big sweep for Iron Mike. This is what he needs. 40 seconds left. Will he get the posture up or will Zombie get back to the feet?
This is a crazy fight already. I mean, we're seeing back and forth pressure from both gentlemen, back and forth ground. It's definitely an interesting fight because we see like some diversity and adversity from both places.
Oh,
Bring
broomstick.
backside again. What are with these backside takes?
You can see
I
round
feel
two.
like- I feel like it's just a mix-up. Like on the ground that they just don't pay attention because, in my opinion, as I always say, backside is one of the easiest ones to counter, and it leads to so much dominance in the ground and pound.
Oh, Iron Mike to start things off in round three gets stunned, and he gets dropped.
Dropped here. Zombies now putting on this pressure, kind of the aggressive game, putting on this pressure again, cutting off the cage, digging to that body, then going up top to the head. This is all still played for, especially with the power of Chandler, as I've said countless times.
Oh, Dustin the Diamond really finding success in the opening minute here. Zombie has made the reads. He's downloaded the data and he's adjusting the game plan to find angles on Iron Mike. Let's see. This is so much pressure. Big left hand broomstick is stunned on the ropes. Big return from broomstick, though.
On the kick, but again, you have this massive. Gets another drop though by Zombie, and now Zombie starts the pressure, and he drops in with clean KO.
Broomstick's out. Cold, unconscious, sleeping and dreaming on the canvas as Zombie roars into the octagon with the victory. What a beautiful finishing sequence. Each man decided to stand and trade, no regard for their safety, and Iron Mike was the one who got the knockout blow delivered to him. What a fight.
Indeed, both did a fantastic job. Evidently, Zombie started out the stronger and then continued being that stronger fighter into the third round to the point where he got the KO. Lovely job by both opponents, so has to be said.
These fights are incredible. This has been an absolute pleasure to call with you guys. As I am talking with about Doc and Bane, you guys are the best commentators, as always. So it's definitely interesting to see, you know, when I have moments where I mix up a little bit my words, you guys are there to save me.
Likewise, we're all here for each other, all the broadcasters and production crew, really just holding each other up by the bootstraps. That's what it's all about when you're part of these organizations on the other side of the coin, behind the scenes. It's all about support and love. And you know what else is all about love is this next fight, Yeeticus versus Chasemefam. I'm anticipating fireworks, Doc.
Indeed. Yeeticus finished the end of season 1 of the Xbox side with an 3-3 record, looking on a loss though, so probably looking back to make the win. Chasemefam, we did see compete in the Grand Prix on a loss though to goals, and so with that said, they're both looking to come back off a loss, put themselves back in the win category. Yeeticus is predominantly a grappler. Chasemefam has been, as we've seen countless times, back and forth, is quite even. Yeeticus picks up Ferguson, Chasemefam picks up the Usman pick. Definitely give Yeeticus the striking advantage, Usman the grappling advantage, but again, either way, both of them are well versed in striking and in grappling.
Obviously, the 5-star fighter in Kamaru, the Nigerian Nightmare, Usman, is going to have a lot of advantages attribute-wise, but in terms of health, each guy's a bit equal. 5-star on both sides. A little bit of a teep to momentarily knock down Yeeticus. Big opportunity here for Chasemefam. Goes for the judo throw. El Kukui wise to it in the first minute.
Yeah, and Kamaru Usman has such strong jab straights that it's ideally going to be the best thing to, you know, halt that Ferguson pressure. But he's definitely just not finding his range. He's getting interrupted with those huge strikes, and he's already been hit by that spinning elbow like at least once or twice, if I'm not mistaken. He's just digging to the body. Overall, beautiful work.
One thing to discuss when mentioning defense between these two, Usman is experiencing a big blocking advantage, 95 blocking from the champion, 88 blocking on El Kukui's side. So in terms of who can stand and trade and rely on the guard, it would have to go to the current and dominant, undisputed champion. Big 1-2 from him there, level change, gets it down.
But as you know, Ferguson's best defense is his face with all that recovery and health. It definitely works out for him. Even if he's somewhat at a disadvantage, he gets that.
Oh!
Ends up in a beautiful position in top mount.
Yeeticus in control of the champion. Usman on his back does have some decent bottom control at 91, but the top control of Ferguson, 94, slight edge to him there.
And even if he gets on his back, Ferguson has so many tools to work with to turn it into his favor. And this is definitely where Chasemefam does not want to be, is on his back. Kamaru Usman is a wrestler. He's definitely very well versed on the top pressure, but when he's on his back, he's at a slight disadvantage as well. But he gets the get up, and now they're just trading again. But again, as I said, it seems like the Ferguson pick working better.
Oh, big 1-2 combination, level change under the strike, return from El Kukui, and we're back on the mat, Doc.
Indeed. Well, Usman's got that top control. Ferguson's got the bottom control, so it's an even matchup, I believe, with the rubber guard of Ferguson walks out around, but he has the area. As I said, like, he gets it in there and he looks to get that stack guard, gets up cleaning, probably for a bit of heavy ground pound or a slide into that side control now, I'd imagine. Here we are. He gets into that side control. Gotta be wary of the full guard sweep, though.
That was definitely a smart reflex by him, a good read. When in the rubber guard, you can get that stacked guard quite easily, but you have to time it right after. And he does so with ease and just puts himself right back in the full guard of Ferguson and just starts raining down punches. In my opinion, he should definitely switch to avoid that rubber guard in the near future as the round ends.
Nigerian Nightmare really putting a stamp on that 5 minutes with the ground and pound at the end. Believe that he was the more efficient striker, landing slightly more effectively, but the creativity of El Kukui is never to be counted out. Through a lot of spinning attempts in there, several of them landed. Interesting to see, Doc, what the approach is going to be in the second set of 5.
I imagine Usman would want to take it back down to the ground. He seems to have some success with it, but I'm not particularly sure. With that being said, though, Ferguson was looking for the takedown. Usman's down on the back foot, just looking for those big shots instead.
Every time Usman lands, there is a large reaction on Yeeticus. The body language, the optics are not good, but look at this. Attempt for a takedown denied from the champion. It just seems like the power differential is really stopping Yeeticus in his tracks, at least on the feet. As I say, though, look at this. El Kukui giving it to the champion. Commentator's curse absolutely affecting me there. Ferguson really lighting up Chasemefam.
To be honest, it's a solid today. I had some Master's curse earlier.
Oh, 1-2 absolutely plants Yeeticus on the mat. Does get back up, but for how long? Usman's such a good opponent when it comes to shark in the water mentality, right? If you smell that blood, he is a finisher. Ferguson needs to recover, which he will. A little bit of gamesmanship and respect shown from everybody.
Yeah, Ferguson wagging his face with his hands down because he knows he can take the majority of shots right on that chin and literally still not be worse for wear. But he gets the back take, and in sprawl position, he could possibly hold him there. He definitely denies that transition. He tries to go for the back several times without any feints, and I do believe that just puts him at. But now he goes for the Peruvian necktie. It's definitely a strong submission for Tony Ferguson, and the bar is creeping up just a little bit. Neck and neck. It's starting
Yeeticus having success here. This is close.
Really tight. This is going to be very shining. And with this, he's done a fantastic job of jacking it as well. And with that, he may get it. It seems like it.
That was great, man! Way to get that submission!
Yeeticus secures the first submission on Primetime 23, set up beautifully, waited for a strike from Usman, and then just ducked right on and got the level change into side control, and just took that fight into his hands and put those coins in his pocket, Doc.
See, that was
lovely job by Yeeticus, indeed.
Sorry, on the roast.
Oh, it's fine. At the end of the day, though, I'm just in shock because I would have allowed him to take my back if I knew he was gonna do all that, because then, like, instead of what you would think would favor
Winner
Usman
by
by
submission.
denying those transitions, it turns out he just falls right into a Peruvian necktie, just trapping himself. It was an amazing performance, honestly.
Beautiful job to secure that submission from Yeeticus, and moving onwards and upwards into our next bout of Primetime 23, Southpaw versus Quidsworth. Quidsworth, truly one of my favorite fighters to watch, always entertaining, always delivers nothing but bangers from Quidsworth. Southpaw, Doc, tell me about him.
Southpaw, T4H member, loves the grappling, can also strike very well versed in the grappling department and striking department, is an all-round veteran of the UFC series in general. Went on a 2-1 win streak all the way back in season 1 with a loss to Jamie, a win over JT Money, and a win over Lepo, who we saw compete earlier. Quids, on the other hand, has fought killers such as Desyia, Spider, Cold-Blooded, Great Mist, Looney, as we saw, and Kryptonite as well. So it's all round, both of them very much no competition here now. Both of them are well versed and veterans on striking in general.
Speaking of which, I had the absolute displeasure to have to go up against him in ranked OWC about a couple weeks ago, and he destroyed me. There was nothing I could do. First round, he just ended my whole career, and it's like at that point I had to take a break for a couple days, because it was just one of those moments where you feel entirely helpless in that scenario. The striking was too clean. I think I only rocked him once, but overall it was just straight disrespect, and I couldn't do anything. All respect to the man, he is a monster on the feet now. And when you said he was mainly a grappler, I was shocked, because he just showcased amazing striking skills, just relevant to his name entirely. And now the fight starts. I'm so excited to see this fight.
Packing on some pounds, going up to 205, entering the light heavyweight division, the champion Jan Blachowicz on one side, Alexander Rakic on the other. 4.5 stars for the champ, 4 on the other side of the spectrum. Each guy in the orthodox stance, and each guy having a exactly similar reach. So the frame is equal on all sides, but the striking is all in the champion's favor. Power 95 to Rakic's 93, so slight edge in impact would go to that blue corner. Great head movement there, and a big check left uppercut knockdown early. Quidsworth getting tossed over into this terrible position, needs to do something with that pick to get out of it.
He's definitely at a disadvantage right now. Jan Blachowicz is very strong on the ground when he's in a dominant position. Alexander Rakic is more of a kickboxer, so he definitely doesn't have that advantage. He has maybe like an 88 bottom game, 87, 88, somewhere around there. I'm not too well versed. I'd have to actually ask our expert Doc over here.
Blachowicz is an interesting one, an all-round grappler, very good on top, very good striking as well, got a fantastic lead body kick as well. Rakic, on the other hand, very much a kickboxer, doesn't have the best boxing, kind of slow, but has really long elbows, so if you enter the pocket, probably what you want to do is fire an elbow off.
So he definitely does not want to be on the ground.
What's really interesting is the only attribute that Alexander Rakic has over the champ Jan Blachowicz is kick speed. 94 for Rakic versus the 93 kick speed of Jan Blachowicz. In every other aspect of this game, Jan Blachowicz is the better fighter, Doc.
Definitely doesn't.
Yeah, well, that's kind of what you expect, to be fair. But again, even that, you remember, it's like heavyweight, one shot, you're dead.
Oh, you can see many shots landing on the chin of Chinsworth, wearing it well. 140 left in this opening round. Have to think he's feeling good with a knockdown, but I'm so sorry. I've been mixing up the fighters this entire fight.
The best.
Oh, that's good. Just for clarity, Chinsworth is Rakic and Southpaw is Blachowicz. Southpaw was one on top and currently winning the round, I would say. But from that point on, let's continue.
60 seconds remain. Southpaw using that jab so effectively in this orthodox stance. Southpaw very gifted. His head movement has been impressive thus far through the first 5. 40 remain. Let's see if Chinsworth can get going to conclude and put a stamp on a great first 5 minutes.
Blazkowicz is keeping it very calm. Chins is trying to find somewhere entering the pocket, but he's having a bit of difficulty, especially as I mentioned that Erratic doesn't have the most applicable boxing in this fight, I would say. Misses a kick, it gets body kicked straight. Both of them are staying fairly relatively calm and slow, even for a light heavyweight fight. And with that, ending the first round, I would say Southpaw takes that round.
I have to think the knockdown
Especially
would edge the
he
cards.
held ground, and then his striking was way cleaner. So definitely, like you said before, Rakic has those really nice elbows. He needs to stay in the pocket because he has somewhat of a speed disadvantage as well. So he definitely needs to get in that pocket with some crisp, clean strikes and just bang away at the head with those elbows if he can. Just try to open up that block, then possibly go to the body to slow him down.
Good lead hand work from Chinsworth there. Went to the body with the left and then went upstairs with it. But
Gets a front kick after the jab, and Southpaw puts on the pressure. Chinsworth doing a fantastic job at getting that head movement, moving it off of the way, trying to get that distance. But again, lovely head movement again seems to be Chinsworth's thing, but he just can't seem to find a shot off it.
You can see large striking differential between these two. 49 for Blachowicz, 27 for Chinsworth up until this point. Needs to be more active and efficient and accurate, but he can't with the uppercuts. Chinsworth is down. Southpaw pounding him as he stands back up, gets the judo throw. 3:30 to work, Doc. This is a lot of time on the mat with the champion.
Yeah, great minutes to work, especially Blazkowicz. Got the power, got the grappling, got the top game, and has got the ground and pound in general. So probably looks for the top man position, probably wants to get out of this full guard. Even then, Rakic, full guard is kind of not there. He may have a couple of subsequent strikes, but if you can't get a clean denial off, you may have an issue even trying to get them off, to be fair.
Chinsworth largely a step behind Southpaw in this contest. Midway through the second, needs to really get something going and turn into gear. Big left hand right there that moves the champion's head off to one side. Good jabs, doubling up on it. Touch, boom. Could be the slight adjustment that Chinsworth needs to make. Likely would agree with that. Set things up. More feints could be necessary. Got to give the champ more. Oh!
Into that hook, though, with the head movement, which I was talking about being clean.
This could be it. Chinsworth eating shots on the guard.
Gets a deny now, just waits here, goes for a triangle choke, but I don't think it's going to be enough, especially with a minute 30 left and only one denial on a denial himself, so it's going to go up pretty quick in match just to ditch it very soon. Bit of control time low with the sub, so it could lead to the judges maybe leading it in his decision, but he has got a knockdown.
Have to think maybe that was just to clear the cobwebs and shake the head off a little bit. Oh, big sweep though from Chinsworth. Good amount of time left to work with it. Let's see what he can do. You can see Southpaw though getting that grappling advantage up. It's so important in this game to have those peppering, as you said earlier, rabbit strikes just to edge that bar in your favor. Throwing another submission up is Chinsworth. Let's see, armbar attempt. Don't think he has enough time to do it, but as you mentioned, the control time, just trying to, put that in your pocket, Honoros.
Yeah, it's definitely something he needs to watch out for. He definitely has a chance to get swept by the champ, Blachowicz. Sorry, I can't see the names. Again, it's a little bit blurry on my screen. I don't know why. But at the same time, it's like every move he makes has to be with complete precision against somebody like Jan Blachowicz, because it's just a dominating performance so far.
Chinsworth, not one who typically is down on the cards coming into the third. Always a guy who's toe for toe. This time, like I mentioned, a step behind. Interesting to see the adjustments with that Alexander Rakic pick. Big uppercut sort of knocks the chin of Southpaw a little bit higher in the air, but Southpaw content to continue to do what he's done this entire fight, Doc.
Indeed, Tadpole taking it slow, throwing two pieces, using that head movement when needed. Chins is a bit uncertain of when really to throw, or just what to try, to be fair. Maybe try a few elbows, maybe use that jab a bit more, but we saw even when jab, he get front kicked in the face, comes off great with the double leg bail, but again, it seems like Blazkowicz is quite happy and content, taking shots on his block, using that head movement, and just he does, lovely, coming down into this one. Heavy ground pounding, maybe looking at the finish, and he does.
Beautiful head movement led to that counter as Rakic dropped that elbow trying to hit him with it. He just moves his head to the side and just hits him with a beautiful shot. Then just a follow-up ground and pound ends it entirely. Just amazing performance by Southpaw overall.
What a statement made again over a competitor like Chinsworth, having such a dominating performance for the most part. You see that slip straight came courtesy of that little uppercut from Chinsworth. And man, I've just got a feel for Chinsworth in this one. He tried so many different things. He made the adjustments, went from A to B to C, probably even D to be honest, but it just was not enough to overcome Jan Blachowicz in Southpaw's hands. Beautiful performance that cues up our next fight. ICB Basics versus Crypto. Doc, take it away.
Wow, brilliant fight on the featured event of the prelims by of Southpaw versus Quids, now entering into the main card. As you said, Crypto versus Basic, both of them strikers. Basics, both of them find the bantamweight as well, so Basic I suspect maybe a Matty Crypt. A pick on like Crypto, I'm not really sure. This is going to be a striking matchup. Crypt's very well versed in the striking, but can also do some brilliant grappling, underestimated in that. Basics, I'm pretty sure as a kickboxer, last time I checked, especially coming out of the KM camp, you would expect that kickboxing style. So striker versus striker, this fight is going to be Crypto may take it down and get straightened on the feet, but it could go either way.
Yeah, no, definitely the O'Malley pick is very strong right now because of the recent buff, so it's very viable at the moment. But we're definitely waiting to see what Kryptonite King places because it's a TJ Dillashaw pick would be pretty strong into this scenario, but the range would be the issue. So he actually will lock it in. So this is definitely an interesting pickup for him for sure.
Don't have O'Malley's stats on my cheat sheet over here, but the 4.5-star former champion Dillashaw, I do. 5-star stand-up, 93 speed, 95 power with the hands, and 95 accuracy, which is something that we know and understand about TJ's game. That guy rarely misses with strikes, and when he does, it's by millimeters, it's not by inches. What a precise striker he is. And then equipped with 95 kick power and kick speed. This guy is well-versed everywhere on the feet, Doc.
Indeed. Dillashaw's got that kickboxing, has got the boxing, and has got a couple unique movements to be the hassle. The basics here is taking it rather slow, probably looks to hide behind that black line, especially around Mally, but instead comes forward looking for that slip strike. Which seems to be like a main thing of the KM lot.
Yeah, it's definitely his only advantage right now is the range advantage, but he's definitely not making very well use of it because it's just TJ Dillashaw is one of those pickups, especially in the hands of Kryptonite King, that are very dangerous.
Oh,
very
look
well.
at this.
Using that.
Will work.
Crypto's using that jab fantastically, digging to the legs as well, looking for that side hook, but instead doesn't matter. It's keeping that distance, making sure that the O'Malley has to play the range, but he seems a bit uncomfortable, especially with such a long fighter. It's interesting to see. Kicking that leg out early, as we know that Malley's leg is kind of suffering. I think he's got about an 87 leg health as well, so...
Definitely 3-star good attempt there from O'Malley. Big head kick from Kryptonite King. Look at this. Stunning Sugar Sean O'Malley. 3 minutes left in this opening round, and King looking like a world beater so far. Midway through the first, and he's mixing it up so well. As mentioned, the leg kicks are what is so disruptive to Basic's game plan because he can't establish the range because he's worried about that thigh, that lead leg. Kryptonite King doing everything right so far. Basic. Oh, big jumping knee though.
Comes up with over the head, but misses. Digs to the body by Crypto, and again, both of them keeping that mid-range, not in the pocket, but not so far that you can't actually land any leg kicks. Comes in with a tornado kick, clips him nicely, but again, Crypto looking to counter, misses on. Did he miss? I'm not particularly sure.
But basically finding his range, as I said before, it doesn't matter if you have a reach advantage if you're not using it perfectly. So he's definitely starting to find his range, ducking in and out of the pocket, keeping him at bay with those kicks, but at the same time, Kryptonite King is just damaging those legs with every single kick he throws. And he said he only does it when he knows Sean O'Malley's on the back foot.
Oh, look at that!
He gets a knockdown.
Kryptonite King down!
Uh-oh.
Huge recovery.
Lovely
Great.
job by Crypto there again, but he's got a leg drop by and a knockdown, so Crypto's probably needs to push on the pace a bit. Try getting a knockdown back. If not, he needs to play it safe for the next round. Puts on the pressure though. Swings a bit wild.
She stood there taking pictures just for a little bit too long, and we see that a lot of time. When you go for that leg kick and you get that damage, it leaves your head open. And especially from an uppercut like that, set him down. He needs to push this advantage. He needs to equalize it out for the first round. But I do believe with that drop, Basics will take the round.
Have to
Crypto needs to stop doubling up the hook, otherwise he can get pullback. Lovely check by O'Malley there. Comes in and with that end round, I think O'Malley takes it with a knockdown about a minute left.
Absolutely does be. Saw a highlight there from Dillashaw to start. Autoros. Have to give Doc, you know, when Kryptonite King got dropped right there's a couple wild strikes that came from him when he popped back up. You could see a little bit of panic, a little bit of off the game plan, which only works into Basics confidence coming into the second set of 5 minutes.
Well, like I was trying to say, at the end of the day, it's always that feeling of I have to equalize it out. Oh, he knocks me down. I have to pour it on him until I knock him down. And Kryptonite King can't think that right now because there's so much reach potential he has to cross through just to equalize out that damage. Out. And that leg kick check is not going to do him any favors.
Crypto needs to start taking probably a more boxing approach here since O'Malley has figured out his range. Instead of trying to kickbox through, O'Malley instead goes for this kick. And probably should change the boxing look to counter from O'Malley kicks, but instead he's continuing with this kickboxing approach.
Crypto content with the leg kicks, and they are working largely for him, but it only takes a few checks to really dissuade a fighter from attempting them. 2 minutes have transpired in the second round, Basic having a much better round than he did in the first one for at least the first couple minutes. So you can see another check courtesy of that shin being turned out by the knee. Basic is shutting down Kryptonite King.
I wanna actually speak on something. At this point in the fight, when you realize the striking is not to your fullest advantage, would you possibly go for a takedown against Sean O'Malley? Isn't that something TJ Dillashaw has an advantage for?
Yeah, you do bring a good point, and we are aware of Crypto's grappling in the past. Expect him to take it down. Instead, he seems to be content to keep it on the feet, which seems to be a slight issue. But as we continue, trying to land those big shots as well. It's done a fantastic job so far. When he has landed, it's just getting that one clean shot.
You know, one thing that I think could help Kryptonite King is the footwork and switch stance of Dillashaw. You can see their offensive wrestling is a staple of the former bantamweight champion. Right in a half guard for him, 90 seconds to work. No. Oh! Basic flips him over, Doc.
And gets straight back on the feet, knowing that this is where his game is, and it's a very good call by Basic here.
Yeah, he definitely has found his range, and this is a problem for Kryptonite King. He needs to get in that pocket, but those legs are just basically keeping him at bay. Those long legs, the knee to the body, that was beautiful. It's just those counter strikes that are keeping him at bay, just using that reach effectively.
Kryptonite King jumping kick, not there for him, blocked from Basic. He attempted that at the conclusion of the first 5 minutes and was similarly blocked. Big question mark kick though lands, but you can see combinations coming from the red corner. The chin on Kryptonite King is a bit tested, and you can see he just was a little bit of a step behind. O'Malley controlled large parts of that because the kicking game was shut down early, and Kryptonite King didn't make the effective adjustments. You can see the stats were in Sean's favor in that second round. First one was Dillashaw. Boys were 1-1 going into the third.
Indeed. You can imagine that Crypto needs to change his game coming this time around. Grapple, box, just not do kickboxing, falling straight into O'Malley's game. He started very well in the first round, but since then, Basics has built up himself and done a fantastic job at doing the kickboxing instead.
Oh, good lead handwork there from Sugar Sean O'Malley. We know that right is effective and lethal. Kryptonite King trying to fire back, but like you said, Doc, you're playing into O'Malley's game. There's a little bit of footwork from the blue corner. Would like to see more of it. On a roast. Oh! Big moment!
Oh,
finally! The kick lands!
a chain of uppercuts just lands and backs O'Malley up, but he has that range again. But now Kryptonite King is working that close range, and he's just feinting, and it's just confusing him, especially right now. So he's able to land more shots. Basics doesn't exactly know what to do at this point. He's trying to find his reads, but those feints threw him off, and then Kryptonite King is just getting in and out of the pocket beautifully.
It's insane, the timing of Kryptonite King, but look at that. Basic makes me eat my words and makes Kryptonite King eat some strikes, Doc.
Yeah, coming with the flying knee is a very good call. Doubling up on those upcuts, which got a knockdown win for this round, and instead both of them trying to keep on more boxing focus seemingly now, since both of them have been countered with kicks. This Crypto just needs to stay tight. He keeps pulling back. He probably should keep on this pressure now instead, especially with only 2 minutes left, and he's got to find a finish since he's 2 rounds down, I think.
Lock continues to be broken for Dillashaw. 2 minutes to work, as you mentioned. Personally, I think it is 1-1 coming into this. Dillashaw needs to turn it up. Kryptonite King could steal this round, but look at that! Basic, perfect time lead head kick. Momentarily stuns and drops Kryptonite King. He's back in it, but he needs a big moment.
Yeah, it's definitely back and forth here and there, but at the same time, I do believe Kryptonite is slowly pulling ahead. He's slowly finding what he needs. He's landing those good strikes, but still, Basics is playing very well.
Oh! Double uppercut again has been the key for Basics. Looking for that underhand heavy on the strikes, and he's narrowly avoids getting finished.
Wow!
He just
survivability.
Saved a great head slip.
Goes for Kimura. Could he get this?
He has
low on stand. You got to remember, he's looking on the escape.
We're
Does seem to be more on the escape side.
Yeah, it's definitely coming out in Basics' favor, but at the same time, this is definitely gonna make him think about diving into the ground with him.
No, there's 10 seconds left in the fight. What a terrible decision by Kryptonite King. Could have utilized that to get back to the feet, but Doc, I don't know about that one. Doc, I don't know about that one, because when you break that down, you just got knocked down. You likely are losing the third in tough fashion. Kryptonite has so much heart, and you have a chance to get back to the feet and maybe throw one more big strike to really just try to get that flash KO, and you choose to go for a submission and ride out the rest of a round that you're losing when it's 1-1 going into the third.
I don't think it was like right now. I think he was honestly attempting to go. Remember that he had the stand advantage. O'Malley was down. 50 seconds left. You can normally get a submission off just about a time, but sadly it just wasn't it. He should have ditched it earlier. And then again, you had 50 seconds left. He's probably a safer bet to go to a decision and then get knocked out.
Tough fight for Kryptonite King. And you can see KM Basic, the Kingsman, get another tonight. Primetime 23 working out well for that crew. Kryptonite King gave such a good performance and no stock loss for either competitor. Each guy had incredible moments. And the Dillashaw pick against O'Malley is interesting because of that range differential that we saw used so effectively. And Doc, you mentioned it so many times. Honoros, what do you make of that incredible 3-rounder?
Well, at the end of the day, it shows if you know your range, you know you'll win. And Basics finally found his range, and it was just a lot harder, like I said, to pick up a TJ Dillashaw into a very long-ranged fighter. It's not easy to get in the pocket if they work well to their range. And he did. He made the adaptation, and Kryptonite King just could not find the tools he needed. So he's definitely going to be looking at this like, oh man, I could have made maybe a better pick, or I could have grappled him a little bit more early on. And you know what? There might be a chance he can run it back eventually and just take it from there.
Either way, on to the next fight of Primetime 23. Bucko versus Slick Colt. Doc, break this one down.
Bucko's fairly new, making his debut in fact, so I don't really have much on him. Slick Colt, on the other hand, well versed grappler, evil on the ground. Recently did a 5-round expedition match against Spider, one of the tip-top grapplers of the UFC community. So you got to remember that Slick Colt was a previous grappler, but now has the striking, versed everywhere, so it could go either way.
Holland That's an interesting pick.
referencing the official betting line between these two, Bucko versus EK Slick. EK Slick getting about 3,000 points from one person, 86% of the base thinking, 14% for the debutante. Interesting picks, of course, Holland versus Vettori. We saw this one didn't go Holland's way. The wrestling is likely going to be occurring on the Vettori side from the EK member, Doc.
Yeah, Holland has got the rubber guards, though, so you've got to be wary of that. You also got to remember that Vettori probably has the Becca? Yeah, sure. The better striking than Holland here with about a 94 punch speed, whilst Bucko has definitely the fancy kicks.
But that's the thing here. You said he was a relatively unknown, but when we did see the track record, he does have a win on EK Slick. So, as we always say, it's different in the spotlight. But you gotta wonder, does that affect the mentality for EK Slick going in this fight? Because he's doing exceptionally well in the pocket, but who knows what.
He's playing a very high pace, so that cardio, as you can see already, that Bucko is doing less, has less cardio, while Slick seems to suffer. But you gotta remember that Vettori does have a high recovery rate as well. Into this top mount as well, you can get a lot of damage off here, but instead go straight into the half guard. Lovely draw by Bucko, getting Slick out of such a dangerous position.
Trailblazer does enjoy a large reach advantage and power advantage, 95 against the Italian Dreams, 89, but you have to think, can't use either of those when you're on your back and on the mat. Honoros, how do you think Holland and Bucko get up from here?
You say that.
It's just really bad for him because Slick is one of those guys that can keep you on the ground forever at the end of the day. He's always there. He always gets it. But he tries to get up from the ground using the cage get up, and that's one of those risky decisions. Even if you get up, they can land those knees to the body and possibly drop you back down so quickly. So we have to see him just take his time, be patient, maybe force EK Slick to use more stamina. At the end of the day, on this round with 1 minute left, I feel as if he's more comfortable allowing EK Slick to just work the ground and just make him use more stamina, deny those transitions, and maybe have a better opportunity in the second round.
Talking about the top control of Marvin Vettori in the stats, the quantitative aspect of it, 94 top control, 89 bottom control for Trailblazer, Kevin Holland, Bucko, and EK Slick here. Seems like it's going the way that their fight did, Doc.
Yeah, Slick's done a fantastic job just controlling the pace, staying on the bottom in this Twimble guard though, so he doesn't get the control time, but he can get the damage. Probably looks to get into his half guard as he does to build up that control time. Poshes up again, raining down shots, but instead Holland gets up. The cardio though still is in favour of Bucko, so you'd hope to God recovery for Slick maybe works. Instead he's trying a lot of wild stuff out from both sides.
94 recovery across the playing field, each guy coming into the second round with the same amount. You see the strikes are almost even, 50 on one, 44 on the other, but largely a Marvin Vettori opening round in this one.
Indeed, and with that though, Holland starting out with the spinning kicks, instead gets clipped and dropped. Slick putting on this pressure
Look
early,
at this, it could be
get
it!
finished, and he narrowly avoids getting finished.
Just great survival ability by him shown right there, but EK Slick, it's back in his territory, in his domain. So Bucko definitely needs to think of something, and posting those arms on the wrong side are definitely not what he needs right now. And he tries to feint for the get up and then tries to go for it again, and it's locked out for that. He's just not taking his time now. Now he's a little bit nervous, especially with that knockdown. So he's definitely not showing the best denials like he did originally. He does survive for that one, but he goes for the get up very quickly, which is not something you want to do against somebody like Vettori. With
EK Slick pounding away. Bucko suffering largely in this second round. The Italian Dream enjoying a 93 ground striking. Interestingly enough, Trailblazer has 94, but you can't use it when you're just eating the shots from EK Slick.
Yeah, it's definitely not going to be a Jacare Souza fight where he literally knocked him out it's definitely not going to work in his favor in the game aspect because let's be honest, the game kind of sticks to its realism just a little bit too much in certain aspects at the end of the day.
Doc, want to get your input on this. Obviously, Holland and Bucko really struggling in this grappling match. What do you think that he can do to neutralize EK Slick's success?
The thing is, he's held full guard. That's one of the biggest things. Oh, lovely denial there. He's held the full guard position, but position, but he's finding it very hard to get out. Maybe needs to fake a bit more. Just needs to get Slick to bite on something. And with that being said, get straight down into this side control. If he's gonna get back on feet again, he's gonna need to pressure as well.
Oh.
Lovely reversal into that, gets a denial in the crucifix, but straight back into half guard, trying to keep him in a very neutral or least dominant position he can. Probably full guard is where he wants to go next, but tries to get up, gets denied. He's got to be patient though. Slick's gonna deny those basic transitions.
You know, Marvin Vettori's athleticism is something that is duly noted within the scene, and you just saw it presented well right there. Just absolutely ragdolling Trailblazer into this side control, and you can see the elbows short but effective as they always are. Great denial there from Bucko, but this is a very large test for him in his debut against an EK member. That's one of the most technical camps on the scene. Every guy that's in EK is on a different level, and Bucko is feeling it as we come into the concluding moments of round 2.
Gets transitioned into the backside position. This is where he wants it, but it's only 6 seconds left, so Slick's going to take the safe bet by just kicking his legs. And with that final round, Slick takes both rounds most likely, and so Bucko needs something to finish this off.
Doc, I want to get your input on judging now. We've had 2 rounds of really just complete dominance. I think the first could have been a 10-9, but the second, do you think that is in the 10-8 realm?
If it was a couple of seasons ago when the 10-8s were massively dependent on control time, PRELIMS plus you would have got 10-8'd, yes. Now, though, it's probably a 10-9 a safe 10-9 to say the least. And with this, either way, Bucko still needs to finish it. Remember, that he's 2 rounds down. If he pulls out a 10-8, even then, you're not going to win it, I think.
Bucko enjoying a large power advantage, but it's largely been all Italian Dream. There's a spinning elbow offering that lands on the temple. You can see it did a decent chunk into the head health of EK Slick. Bucko needs to pour it on and find the offense that he hasn't found through 10. Final 5. Bucko, it's time to shine. Big front kick from him.
Bucko's putting out that pullback elbow, but it just isn't landing. Slick's not falling for it as much, and then Slick's clenching him up, kneeing him into the right. Then probably going to look for another takedown later on, or just use that distance to his own advantage. That was a weird drop, but then he gets down, postures down, and this is straight back up.
He got the dead leg like Stipe Miocic, man. Like, it's just awful to see. And that's the thing. It's very disheartening when something like that happens. But Bucko's still pouring on the pressure just a little bit, but he's hesitating at the same time. He's, like you said, relying on that pull counter just a little bit too much. And EK Slick is really just walking away with this right now.
Good stick there from Bucko, but again, as mentioned earlier, too little, too late. The head health on him is so low, but he's displaying great head movement in the concluding, or not the concluding, but the midway point of round 3. Spinning offering lands, or doesn't land, gets out of the way. I like the movement. I do like this footwork that he's utilizing. It seems like a different Bucko that we didn't see through the first 10, but you can see the clinch entry from the Italian Dream is just too powerful. EK Slick pushing him back, cutting off the cage of the Trailblazer, Doc.
Indeed, Slick's just walking him down there. He's happy with the ground game. He's got two rounds in the bag, and unless Holland can pull something out big, he's going to have massive issues trying to finish this fight. And so Slick's happy just to look for the shots, look for the piece, just look to secure the round. He's got a knockdown already, so that's the round secured in itself. He's going to be throwing kicks. He's throwing a couple of pullback elbows, a couple of spinning elbows, so maybe expecting one like big elbow shot at the very last to maybe wobble, but instead Slick's staying out the elbow range just enough to get those shots. And we
have an advertisement. Thank you. The affiliate streamer. We'll flash back to that in 30 and see what it is. If you guys are listening, please pause the fight, but I guess it wouldn't matter because the fight's likely going to be concluded. Interesting, but have to imagine Marvin Tory, the EK Slick member, getting the nod in that EK camp, really just dominating Bucko there. Tough debut. That's the most anticlimactic thing that could ever happen.
Yes, it is.
That is so anticlimactic.
What you see, especially...
Oh, perfect. Okay, great. That's funny.
Yeah,
That
and
is-
so with
that
that,
is
we'll be
funny.
right back with it as soon as you had the moment.
A leg kick.
Securing the break with the ad break. Yes, indeed.
No,
And we're back
we
into
go
it.
right back into the action. Holland is wobbled and comes back with that pull elbow, narrowly misses it. The Slick is still putting on his pressure.
Oh,
Stuns him with the jab, ducks under the uppercut, but gets the uppercut, knocking him down, taunting at the end. 40 seconds left, and this is, would say it's still all to play for, but it seems to be Slick's fight.
He said, I don't care about that 1-0 you had on me. I have 1-1 now, and it's going to be that way permanently. He is destroying.
Oh, you say that, commentators.
Go!
Dicks
Can he do
under
the impossible?
and
He definitely finally found that.
he gets kicked with a minute and second left.
But
Bucko!
the thing is, all the damage that was already done in round 1 and 2. I
Wow.
think overall, EK Slick won it, but it was definitely, he was just throwing it all out there near the end, trying to get that finish. But I feel like he should have just mainly focused on the fundamentals rather than the pull counters and just, the flashy kicks at the end of the day. It was
There's
just
a
a
lot-
little bit too much.
There's a lot of fundamentals.
Yeah,
that
it
were-
does go to Slick Carlton. Lovely job by Slick securing that round. Usually grappling within the first 2 rounds and striking in the third, nearly caught himself at the very end, but I hope it works.
Yeah, it's a nightmare scenario sometimes, if you lose that way. And sometimes it happens, but EK Slick kept his composure, didn't rush forward, and just kept at it and just worked his game plan throughout the fight. Great by both gentlemen.
I was going to mention there's just several fundamentals that felt like they were missing on that Trailblazers side. A lot of it, of course, residing in the grappling realm with the inability to pop back up to the feet. And Doc mentioned a great point during it. He was just content to be on his back like Kevin Holland is, which maybe is why he picked him. He plays exactly like him. Completely fine just sitting there and letting the round transpire, the minutes dwindling away, and the chances at victory fading. And I respect that Bucko fought to the end. But too little, too late to the most extreme sense of the phrase. Either way, 5 fights remain on Primetime 23. Getting into this one, Morbid Mad Lad versus Mega Tony, Doc.
Indeed. Morbid Mad Lad, known as a predominant grappler. Mega Tony, recently making his debuts from the PS Grand Prix. It's getting decently far, if I remember correctly. Let me just double check that. He did. He got a buy-in into the first round, lost in the second, and then got a no contest on Fight Night 8. But with that being said, going into this, he's still got all the play forward against Morbid. So, Dos Anjos versus the Ferguson pick. I mean, you've got to imagine that the Ferguson probably is the better grappler here.
Have to think that again. RDA, though, very skilled former champion in RDA and former interim champ on the T. Ferguson side. Leg kicks to open things up. Oh!
Man, that was a quick takedown right into side saddle. He's trying to get to his back, but it doesn't work. He just rushes it too quickly. You got to think it might be panic setting in as Mega Tony gives Morbid his back, and this is something he definitely doesn't want to do. And he's just rushing these transitions. He's trying to escape. I think there's a little bit of panic. He gets a nice denial, though. What do you think he needs to do, Doc? I mean, he definitely expended quite a bit of energy going for those naked transitions.
He did indeed, but again, you probably don't want to be hunting that back take consistently. After one deny, you just don't want to go for it again. Maybe just look for that Grandpan said elbow by Megatony here. Megatony taking it very slow and patient, letting Morbid come to him. But you got to think that Morbid needs to mix up what he's doing. He can't just hunt for that takedown.
Oh, absolutely does. Eats a big head kick there. And Morbid, someone who, he lives behind the grappling threat. That opens up a lot of Morbid's games. People who are concerned about the clinch entries or those judo throws that we saw earlier. Big stick there from Morbid, though. Megatony eating some shots on the chin. Honoros. RDA pick is very crafty. A lot to him. But look at this pole guard from Morbid.
Yeah, it's definitely a hard pickup, though, because the current meta, I originally played it in my debut, and I had to fight a Ferguson, and I will, I won't compare myself to these guys. These guys are way more prolific in their fights. They're very professional. They're on a whole different level, but at the same time, it did not go well for me as RDA as well.
Oh,
It's definitely not favoring him in this current point. He tries to go for the leg lock, but it's denied. It's a very
Goes for the go though, and very strong. Cancels it instantly though. That's an interesting take to bit indeed. Gets into the half guard bang. You got to imagine that Megatoni needs to figure something out because Morbid's. This is where he wants to be. So I imagine he's pretty
completely.
confident
And you
in
can
his
see
area.
Morbid downloading the data. The reason why he's canceling these transitions early is because he is taking a split second to analyze the reactions of Megatoni and put that in his pocket for later. Megatoni giving Morbid exactly what he wants, but this is what Megatoni wants. Back on the feet, under 60 seconds. First round between Morbid and Tony coming to a close. Look at this. RDA backed up, eating shots.
So much pressure from Ferguson. This is what we needed to see in those other fights. This is what I was talking about. Just walk forward, plant, start throwing strikes. When you get that chance, you will be able to strike them and they cannot answer back because then you've already worked on their block to that point. And we're seeing just beautiful pressure come out of Morbid right now. And Megatoni's just feeling that heat and he's answering back, but it's just not enough compared to what he's taking.
Doc, first five has transpired, concluded, and been closed. Have to think Morbid's going to be walking away with the 10-9 in that one. But I want to ask you, what did you think about the striking coming from El Kukui?
I'll let you answer that one, Doc, because at the end of the day, I love Tony Ferguson. He's a great pickup for any fight in general and absolutely used the exact game plan you need to work with as Ferguson. Just marched forward and threw strikes and broke that man's block.
Great level change there, pulse guard.
But then, sorry, Bone. But there's marching forward and then there's just swinging shots. In the case Morbid seems to be doing between the both, he seems to be either swinging shots or marching forward. He's not really sure on the feet, but again, he's got it straight onto the ground and he's quite happy being here, as we've discussed previously.
Absolutely, top control is what Morbid likes to have. But look at this, another submission attempt from Tony denied from the submission specialist.
He needs to throw in more feints. He needs to set up his submissions a bit more. RDA has great jiu-jitsu on his back, but the same thing can be said for Tony. So he just needs to be more patient, focused.
Oh!
This is some risky ground and pound. RDA is narrowly in the book. Gets a lovely deny there, both low on stamina. Attempts a leg lock. Gets a deny though, as you see earlier. So this is a risky position to be for both opponents.
This is not good. This is not a good, look for Megatoni right now. He's definitely at a disadvantage. He seems like he's trying to go for a submission, but he keeps using the same one without setting up. So it's not working in his favor. And he gets top mounted again. So you got to wonder, is he going to go? He does try to go for that transition, and it's a bit difficult to block that one. So this is definitely where he wants to be, but he's put straight into rubber guard until the Ferguson gets side control all over again. This is just really rough for Megatoni.
What a back and forth on the mat. Obviously, Morbid having much more of the success, but this has been an entertaining grappling contest for the most part of it. Have to think Morbid is looking better than ever as we come back to the feet. 90 seconds remain in round two.
Doc.
As Doc mentioned. Oh! Morbid Madlad stunning! RDA on the feet, Megatoni on the ropes. Will he go out? Look at this! Morbid winging power shots. Denies the takedown. Gets back up. 1 minute remains in round two. Morbid Madlad pouring it on like he's never before.
Yeah, overall, he's just doing a great composure, and he rocks him again and just keeps marching forward. And each strike is just landing right now. He puts him down on his back, just raining ground and pound. And he narrowly survives. Great posting. He did not read it very well the first time.
This is clearly to waste time now and playing it safe. And with this, you go into the second.
Yeah, he's
third,
just
and
trying to
final round.
survive at this point.
Call that a survival Kimura to make it to the final 5 minutes. Morbid, Mad Lad, stunning. Megatoni on the feet, almost had him out of there. RDA on the ropes, looking at the recovery, 95. So he'll come into this final 5 with a bit more, but Morbid looking to make a statement here tonight at Primetime 23.
He's putting a clinic on both the ground and on the feet. He's not letting him get any space to even think, and this is what's going on. He's just for that pressure.
Morbid Mad Lad! Flash KO! The highlight reel finally has a knockout! What a performance!
Wow. That was
I questioned the hooks earlier, but apparently they work.
At the end of the day, just march forward and swing. That's all you need to do with Ferguson.
Apparently so. I was questioning there's a difference between walking forward, pressuring, and just swinging hooks, and apparently pressuring and swinging hooks work fantastically.
Yeah, he
always works.
And he is like, "Oh, bet we'll see."
Morbid Mad Lad with El Kakui absolutely decapitating RDA as he finds the finish. One of the best finishes that we've seen on Primetime 23. What a statement that gentleman has just established tonight.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be dangerous. He's definitely going to be trouble for the contenders out there. He just put on a clinic. And somebody like Megatoni is definitely not a slouch or anything like that. So it just shows a promising start for Morbid. He's just overall just an amazing fighter with that showcase.
Talking about a promising start, card is coming to a close as we approach the final 4 fights of Primetime 23. What a card this has been. Finishes, exciting back and forths, all out action is what we've been anticipating as we get into this one. Cryptic Optics versus Machine Gun.
Cryptic is in TMF. Both of them are TMF members. Machine Gun off a loss to Bang Bang, coming up with title contendership to see on who's fighting Styles. This card with Bang Bang winning that fight. Machine Gun's on a loss, looking to come back on a win. Both of them playing aggressive, both of them. We've seen this matchup countless times before as well.
This is the 3rd time, I believe, we've had Poirier versus Gaethje on this card. It's gone each way. Both times, I think the Diamond is 1-1 against Gaethje. Who knows? I can't remember the results. This card is too exciting. First round underway. It seems like each guy's evenly matched, Honoros.
You're absolutely right, and every time we see these matchups, it doesn't get boring. It may be the same fighters, but it's an entirely different play style from each person.
Diamond gets the back, puts the hooks in. This is bad news for the highlight doc.
Indeed, you got to remember that Poirier has got the grappling advantage. Gaethje doesn't. He has some better takedown defense. I believe you mentioned that a while back. But again, apart from that, Poirier is the better grappler. Has got all the submissions. I think he may even have a twister in his back pocket, if I remember correctly. So, still worth trying to see. Attempts to take the backs instead. A Machine Gun. Is it Machine Gun? No, it's Optics. Apologies. Optic is the Poirier pick.
What's interesting about these guys when you look at the attributes is the top control and bottom control is even on both sides. 89 top, 88 bottom. However, the submissions, of course, largely in the Diamond's corner. 92 for him in that realm. 82 for Gaethje. Don't think we're going to be seeing any tap outs from the highlight. Good job from Cryptic, just to control, be patient, be composed. Honoros, what do you think that Gaethje needs to do to get back? Oh.
Let me get
just like that.
He has to do that. I'll just say it like that. He has to do more of that every time he gets taken.
90 seconds remain. Doc, what do you make of this first round so far?
Seems pretty even. Optics seems to hold it with a grappling advantage. Both of them dig into the body very fast.
Oh.
Play for though, especially when you have 2 power punches like Gaethje and Poirier.
And he's controlling the distance very well.
Look at this. Mixing it up to the body is Cryptic. Those combinations are beautiful.
Shot.
He digs up to the head, digs straight back on the body, and again, it's just a mixture of high, low. Tries to come up with those slip uppercuts, doesn't land, and out of range with Cryptic. Cryptic's just managing this range impeccably well as well.
Oh, look at this though! Look at this though! Ah! Oh, it's all over! Machine Gun's midsection cracked like a ribbon, been broken in half. The boards have been split, the ribs are gone.
I was just about to say.
I'm not going to ask what analogy was, but it sounded
too
awesome.
much pressure.
I meant to say wood and I said a ribbon.
Well, I mean, a ribbon cut in half is also a good analogy for that.
Either way,
like a cheap lawn chair.
Separated from the fight is... Oh my god, I just forgot his name.
Machine Gun versus...
Machine Gun, it's too much. The brain's overloaded. Cryptic, what a performance. I mean, this is, as you mentioned, he had the timing and the rhythm so well, so early. It's difficult for Machine to even get into the fight. A lot of those striking combinations, worse for wear on the Gaethje corner. The Diamond victorious once again tonight, Doc.
Indeed. The Cryptic did a fantastic job grappling early in the first round, then coming back and striking, got wobbled, but then came back and dug to that body as soon as the stun happened. Lovely job by Cryptic defeating Machine Gun on that loss. So now Machine Gun's on a 2-fight losing streak. Depends where it goes for him from now. Up next, we have I think this has to be one of your favourite fights of this card, MattyD versus Tadpole. Am I correct, Bane?
I've been waiting for this one. Doc, I have been waiting to see this fight transpire. MattyD, the former title challenger versus rising prospect and all-around well-versed character in Tadpole. This is a clash of giants down at 125. Bit of an oxymoron, if you will. Existing history, 1-1 ping is great. Ona Rose, take this one away.
Honestly, you know, they're definitely picking some heavy hitters. We see the Davison Figueiredo. Hopefully, you know, we might have a treat and see a possible Brandon Moreno, but no, he goes for the Demetrius Johnson. And no matter what, Tadpole has had some adversity in the past, but he's shown he can hang with some of the best as well. And all these fights we've already seen are just amazing. It's like no matter what we see, it is a truly a battle, a testament, if you will, to the grit and composure of every fighter out there.
Doc, digging into the attributes really quickly before the action commences. 99 punch speed for Mighty Mouse versus 95 on Deus Degara. 97 power for the flyweight champion. 87 for DJ. Interesting stats as we approach this highly anticipated matchup.
Indeed. Figueiredo's got that power, though, in the flyweight division. It's just something you can't contend with. Also, to be noted that Figueiredo's got rubber guard and a fantastic bottom game. Not fantastic on top, but very good bottom and can get up quickly. You saw in the right IRL with the Moreno fight. Has a really low block, though, as well. So if you dig to that early, you can make him suffer. You have to use a head movement of Figgy if you're going to fight with him.
Yeah, like you said, it's basically, you know, between speed and power. And you know what they say, timing beats precision, and precision beats power. It could be the testament. It's the accuracy we need to see from both of them.
Talking about timing, MattyD looking like a watchmaker with how perfect that timing was. Touching the chin of Tadpole early. Couple minutes have transpired already. And big lead uppercut. Tadpole, though, look at this, taking it to MattyD.
And those head movement feints are definitely just getting into MattyD's head. He doesn't know exactly when to strike, but he's doing excellent right now with that lead body uppercut and those jabs going in and out of range. But he misses that shot, and that's the one I'm talking about. He's getting full countered. He does not want to get that too many times. Otherwise,
beautiful movement from Tadpole right there. Doc, 2.5 remain. MattyD doing some great work to the chin, but Tadpole is slowly coming on. What are you thinking right now?
It's a case of Matt needs to find a shot, but the issue is Tadpole's putting all that pressure. He's just looking down punch power for Figgy is the major thing here to worry about. DJ's got that power, you can intercept, but you've got to be wary. As you see, that block's really quite low. As soon as he gets going, he needs to build up on it. If he doesn't, he's going to have to back off and wait for another opening.
Tadpole really content to sit behind that guard and eat the shots of Mighty Mouse, probably thinking he's got pillow hands, I can wear it for a while. But as mentioned, some of those strikes are coming through and really touching the chin of Tadpole. 90 seconds remain. Each guy doing good work. Want to say about the pulls for a moment.
Ooh,
Big moment for MattyD.
And they're just throwing in the pocket. Both gentlemen just not afraid. Just throw and see who comes out on top. But in my opinion, this
I mean, I feel like I should also know, just because DJ has the low power stat, his actual move level, so his jab, straight, hooks are all quite high level. I think they're about 4 or 5 star, which means he does get quite a bit of power behind it. Even if someone does have a low power stat, then the move level does add to their power.
But it
so
does
DJ may seem like he have a low power, but he can still hit quite hard given the right opportunities.
Of course, but it does not affect it if you're getting punched in the face with 95 power.
True.
The one flyweight Grand Prix winner had a
dink that body early and probably take down by Matt. Taking it down very hard. Don't remember that figure he does have a full guard from a full guard sweep from side control, so something to be aware of.
Champion versus champion in this one. Returning versus current. Storyline set. Match checkmate. Let's see what round 2 looks like.
It's definitely, you know, a battle of precision and speed versus raw power and countering, it seems, because Tadpole has done some great slips into some pretty savage punches against MattyD.
Great defense there. Will DJ get it? He does. MattyD takes it into the guard of Davison Figueiredo.
Nice grip right there.
I didn't know that he goes for that ground pound early on. He probably wants to keep it down here on the floor just a bit longer, try to secure the round just a bit, do a bit more damage where he doesn't actually end up being attacked, but instead gets denied being flipped over into this half guard transition. This is an issue for DJ.
Yeah, he recovered full guard very quickly, but immediately got
Tadpole. Big posture up here. He just slices through the guard into side control. Very dominant position for the champ in the top mount. Here he is, MattyD on his back. What can he do? Regains the half guard. 3:20 remaining in this second round. Tadpole postures up. Each guy really taking their time.
Yeah, Tadpole's being very patient, looking for, he knows he's got the power shots well, so he doesn't have to wing many to do damage. Matt seems a bit on the slow side when it comes to be on the full guard, but instead Tadpole allows him to get up, knowing that he probably has was a bit more confident on the feet as well.
Tadpole, that decision could haunt him. Who knows what this 2 minutes and 30 seconds left in the round will happen. MattyD touching the chin of Tadpole. Good movement there from the red corner. One thing I wanted to say about the pullbacks. Oh, crisp 3-piece combination. Big slip right there. Oh! Oh, Tadpole down!
That was an amazing counter strike as well. Tadpole threw a shot. MattyD finally used a counter shot and hits him hard and sets him down. It's a beautiful shot by him. So it's the tale of counters, it seems, in this fight, because both men are showing some great head movement, and it just whoever shoots first usually ends up hitting harder than the other. But at the same time, they're just going at it in the pocket. It's a beautiful fight.
We know that Davison Figueiredo is a sniper with that right hand. So much power, the highest caliber at 125 you can get. MattyD with DJ equipped with a lot of versatility, right? This guy's very balanced. I would like to see maybe some more kicks implemented at range, but under a minute remains in this second round, and it's very closely contested. Lead upper lands for Tadpole. You can see Tadpole's eating so many shots. Big head kick there. He needs to return more. MattyD is gradually pulling away in the health department. And when you look at the recovery, it's 94 on both sides. So Tadpole's still going to be at a deficit coming into this third and final round.
It may be the case, but you don't remember the power, as you can see, like that head health. That knockdown's not the end of that round.
Saved by the bell, in my opinion. He would have been out if it wasn't for that bell. But at the end of the day, MattyD has to think of something. He had some really good shots landed. He had some great slips, but the thing is, Tadpole is slowly picking him apart as well. So it depends on who hits harder and who hits first at this point.
So it's
feels
very
like a
much
main event, so much tension.
Yeah, you don't usually see this. A very just composed, calm, and counter shot Figueroa. Usually see him just non-stop marching forward.
Oh! Block is gone for DJ. MattyD eating some of these shots right through the guard. Oh, left hand lands for Figueiredo. Tadpole really putting it together in this third round. But he's down!
That's a lovely job.
The one shot he misses on the counter ends up punishing him for a drop. And this is definitely looking better for MattyD, to be honest. He's counting every... Yeah, he's...
Knocks him down again. This is MattyD's fight all-round team, but Tadpole could still come back, especially with the power punches. Throws a tornado kick, digs down to the body, but instead it's back and forth still. That jab is
on right now. That block is completely toast, and everything MattyD is throwing is with precision and timing. He's finding his range, he's finding his moments, and it's not looking good for Tadpole in the third round at all.
And this is what we discussed earlier in the fight, of course, living behind the block and letting those strikes just dance off of your forearms. You can't do that forever, and it is coming back to haunt Tadpole. It's midway through this third round, goes to the level change, gets it. Let's see if he can ramp up some control time and maybe burn through the existing stamina of DJ, maybe make the cardiovascular system question itself at the conclusion of this fight. Either way, the get-up is there for MattyD, pops up to the cage. 2-minute warning for both competitors, highly contested, each guy having moments. MattyD getting the better of this last 5 minutes, though.
Yeah, he
definitely comes back though.
Digs
down to that body, comes up and doesn't get it.
Can he do it?
Gets a knockdown mode, goes straight back into the clinch. Now you can worry those slow low, gets a knee to the face, and instead finishes it.
MattyD out cold. The TKO, just over 90 seconds left in the fight. Tadpole rallies from adversity and ends the former title challenger's night. What a statement just made from the Kingsman.
Yeah, it's definitely a great performance. It showed a lot of adversity, but he stayed calm and composed and got the comeback knockout. He was really in a lot of trouble originally, and as you spoke, he could not use his block anymore, but his slips away from all that damage were just showing through every round. It was just a matter of timing it.
Incredible. I believe.
And I mean, both gentlemen they shouldn't be ashamed at all. Both of them are just amazing fighters. They had beautiful slip counters. They had moments where it was just a war back and forth. Just an amazing fight overall.
Truly one of the most delivering fights that we've had, and such good storylines that were realized, and the anticipation was absolutely blew the expectations. However, time to get in to the co-main event of the evening. Doc, I believe.
So excited.
Yeah, I'm gonna hop out the commentary booth while we're back from the main event, but this is my time to fight apparently. After several late replacements by Fadanator having to pull out, then Ricardo, Dave's now got me to fight. It's always fun.
All right. Can't wait to see you perform. May the best man win.
Honoros talking about the commentator, the Paul Felder-esque maneuver by Doc here to save the co-main event of the evening. What a true, generous move from him to put the record, to put the reputation, to put the skills on the line in the bright lights of Primetime 23. Have to imagine, though, there are deficiencies facing him as he steps into the octagon. He has been commentating for hours and hours and hours. Who knows what the mentality of the doctor is in the octagon. Either way, let's get into it.
Yes, but at the same time, as you say that, as I've seen in SEC itself, they did have fights, and Doctor, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, was the only loss EK Dirty Dave had as champ in SEC. So it's definitely going to be an interesting match to see. They are very good grapplers overall, and both have amazing striking potential as well.
Someone turned off the AC because, boy, it is hot in here. The flames are rolling as we approach the conclusion of Primetime 23.
Oh, and
the Doctor versus EK30.
This is my favorite weight class because of the speed and the advantage. You know, I love playing Cody Garbrandt. I love playing Jose Aldo. It's that timing that has to be completely on point because of how fast they can throw. Especially if one of them goes Peter Yan, it's definitely it's a problem. It's gonna be a problem.
Could be seeing a mirror match of the Russian former bantamweight champion No Mercy. Two of them squaring off against each other. Twins fighting in the octagon. Have to look at the existing history between these two, Honoros. Now, we always talk about the lack of context. They are just numbers on a screen. They really don't tell the full story of what each of those 39 fights looked like. Could have been 30 training sessions where they were just working and grinding on separate things. Could have been 39 wars. Could have been 39 one-sided fights, each guy just shutting out the other. Who knows what those 39 looked like? Either way, I'm interested in the 40th. 135, Petr Yan versus Petr Yan. It seems to be what we are looking at. Never mind, we're looking at nothing.
Is the current pause as they might have needed to fix the same settings or something like that? But as you say, it's going to be one hell of a fight. I've had the pleasure of calling EK Dirty Dave's fights in my own league and in primetime for a long time now. I've also seen Doctor fight in SEC as well as here. So it is just a non-stop run back of just great fun fights for some of the majority of these fights.
And as we established earlier, this EK camp is truly dangerous and lethal anywhere that the fight goes. However, most importantly on the feet, every EK member, boy, I get to see the highlight reels on Twitter all of the time, different clips and small tidbits of fights where they are just lighting up people, 5-piece, 6-piece, 7-piece combinations, shutout performances. That EK camp is something, but the doctor is ready to take it on.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a great fight. It's going to be a huge one regardless. The thing is, EK and like you say about EK, there's one of the best camps. I consider LFC and EK some of the best camps out there, and they constantly perform at all levels of this game. So I am excited to see a Doctor's coming out. He's definitely trying to push forward, put him on the back foot, get that force of nature going almost immediately as quick as he can, because EK Dirty, as it is in his name.
Oh, the Asoto Gari trip right off the bat. Within 1 minute, Doc is down.
EK, man, at the end of the day, EK Dirty Dave's been taking some showers because that was clean from him.
Doc Osmond's back here, full guard. Dirty Dave posturing up, going back down.
Let's be honest. It was immediate and it was beautiful. It was timed perfectly without any delay. And Doctor gets the back. It's definitely a very good switch up. He needs to hold this position, possibly slow Dave down, because as we normally see, Dave starts at a quick pace on the wrestling department. And if he can last the first round, second round, he can definitely work it.
Doctor trying to kill.
Time. Sure.
Oh, big sweep there by Dirty Dave. Reversal.
Huge half guard potential, but he's content in just landing some shots to the body. Postures up, lands a few strikes to the block and to the face, but it's nothing like too substantial. He's just trying to land that control time. These gentlemen, I've seen them fight so many times. They are very patient. They will go through all 3 rounds for the win if they have to.
Crucial denial there from EK Dirty Dave, restricting the Doc's movement, trying desperately to posture and get back to the feet in the striking realm. He does, gets the power up, pushes Dirty Dave against the fence on the break. No throw, guard is up, small jabs just peppering out. Big side kick there from Dave, making some distance. Oh, the Asoto guard reversal.
He gets a trip of his own. This is just so good. They're basically a mirror match completely in all four. They're both so highly skilled. Beautiful ground and pound lands. This is one hell of a fight already, Bane.
The Doctor is filling the prescription midway through the first with strikes, just peppering the body, touching the ribs. That's baby back right there on EK Dirty Dave. Just over a minute remains. Gets the posture up.
His hands are sleep aids because he's trying to put him to sleep right now.
There's a lot of NyQuil in those hands.
I have a prescription for that.
I'm going to give you some melatonin right on the chin, right on the ribs, right on the body. 40 seconds left in the first round of the co-main event. Doc with the denial.
And like you said, these are some of the best competitors in the... And you see the stamina is quite the same, but that nice little stamina drain Doctor Who put on him, it just is so powerful. And it's still still hasn't recovered.
Oh, look at this. Big damage done by the Doc to conclude the first round. Most significant strikes of the moment. You can see he edged it 9-5 in the significant striking realm and had a small advantage in total strikes. Second set of 5 minutes in the co-main event. Doc 10-9 through 1.
Yeah, that was definitely a beautiful read by Doc in those last few moments. The stamina never recovered as he landed those crucial shots. But at the end of the day, the recovery from both gentlemen, as you see, corner, it's basically all full already. I just wish this was a 5-round fight like I've seen in the past. They're just amazing fights to see.
Great work from Doctor to not get tripped and thrown back onto the mat. Good awareness from him. See the grappling advantage is high in his favor as he strikes and pieces up EK Dirty Dave and knocks him down. What a combination from No Mercy on No Mercy.
For basically a step-in fight like this, Doctor is performing very well right now. He's draining that stamina every time he goes in. He rocked him. He knocked him down. He got a near submission near the end just to score some points, and he controlled him in the later part of the first round. So I do believe Doctor will be up 2-0 once this round concludes. But it may be too early to tell as well because we still have 3 minutes.
Oh! Just like you say, too early. Doctor gets stung. Oh, EK Dirty Dave knocks the Doctor down.
No, man, it's a tale of the tape. Both Yans basically just having their moments, and Dave drags them down right into side control. This is a beautiful grappling showcase that we are seeing, and especially with the striking. Their brief moments of striking has always led to some fantastic grappling exchanges. Wouldn't you say so, Bane?
Absolutely agree with you. EK Dirty Dave trying to take the Doctor to the hospital and put him in one of those beds. 2 minutes remain in this second round. Doc getting the full guard, trying to get back to the feet. He was doing such good work in this second round, and it's all been taken away by the EK member. Denials upon denials, posture ups, and slicing through the guard of the Doctor.
Right into side control. That was beautiful by Dirty. He's definitely trying to just find his rhythm on the ground and just sap the stamina away from him and just grind it to a finish. I honestly think that's why they call him Dirty, because he is not afraid to grind you into that just demoralizing situation.
Drags you into the mud and makes it a dogfight indeed. Full guard regained once more for the Doc. Does get the backside. Great moment for him. 50 seconds with which to work. Let's see what he can do. Does he choose to posture up or simply get up and move away? Make some distance. One thing to look at health-wise as we approach the final seconds of the second round is that left leg of the Doctor. It has been... Oh, nope. The bar was covering it. It's fine. I thought there was a bar covering because I had assumed it was halfway done, and I was like, I don't remember that damage being accumulated. But either way, short elbows on the inside from Dirty Dave. Doc position been reversed once again. Has to be frustrating for him as we go into the third round on a roast.
Yeah, it's an interesting match to say the least. You're seeing both men showcasing just amazing skill right now. It's great to see at the end of the day, because this is like highlight of the competitors of prime time. These are some of the, the top fives.
Doctor down once more. Could be in the morgue soon. EK Dirty Dave looking to find the finish early in the third, and he gets it. EK Dirty Dave pounds out the Doctor at the beginning of the third round in the co-main event of Primetime 23.
That was an amazing performance from both gentlemen, but the grit and determination for Dave just to come out there and just work the stamina and then find that brief opening. We're talking about small windows, ladies and gentlemen. These are the top of the top. professional fighters in this league, and they are just showing you that there are levels to this game that you have to overcome to even get to that point.
Double duty for the doctor tonight. Been on commentary the entire card. Steps in at the closing minutes. This is 11 p.m. on the primetime 23 card, coming into the final hour of it with the main event, and he puts on the performance of a lifetime. Doc, no stock lost. You truly put a show on, and EK Dirty Dave going home with the W. EK undefeated tonight. But either way, Honoros, we move on to the main event of the evening. TD Styles versus EK Bang Bang.
And as we are now joined by Doc, that is no performance you can cry about. You had a wonderful step and short notice fight, and it was an amazing performance overall. Gotta give props to Doc for stepping in so quickly.
The main event of Primetime 23 is moments away. Have to take a quick moment to thank all of you watching. We appreciate the viewers. We appreciate your time. It is invaluable. You won't get it back, and so we hope that we've given you what you wanted. Main event at 205, DC versus Silva.
At the end of the day, even if you paid for it, you're getting your money's worth.
Daniel Cormier, the
back
Olympian.
in the booth. It's nice
Doc,
to
welcome.
Honestly, Doc, that was not a performance to be unhappy about. You did very well.
Oh! Early work from Bang Bang. Doc will unpack it after the main event. There's fireworks.
He gets caught quickly, way more quickly than Doctor got caught. Yeah, overall.
I called Dave first, thank you very much. With that, focusing back onto the fight, Styles takes it straight down to the ground where he's comfortable. Bang Bang on the back, down the back, goes to the sprawl position. Could look for the clinch get up instantly, but instead waiting patiently, letting that Styles dig to that body isn't a good idea, but gets to deny.
Yeah. Bang Bang Silva is the stuff of legend. We've seen him put people away, and when he gets rocked and knocked down 3 or 4 times, he just comes back and ends their night. So he's definitely got landing those knees on Styles. He's basically showing him a little thing or two. He's on Styles. He's working. He's just
Look
chipping.
at this.
Beautiful, beautiful denial on the takedown.
We all know the hooks of Silva are stuff of legend, and they have been connecting to the champ early in this one.
Well, Bang Bang is looking amazing at this point. He's had great work on, defensive work on the ground. He's landing some really clean shots, but you can see his head health is low as well, and he gets slammed to the ground.
This is a wrestler in DC. Doc, what are you making of the opening minutes of our main event of the evening?
Strong start by Styles, taking it down. Styles is dirty grappler, emotional abuse on the ground, as I like to call him. He's standing in a very strong front. Bang Bang staying patient, but he really shouldn't be in sprawl position. That body's just getting dug over and over again. That's going to cause massive issues coming into the later rounds, even now, per se. Lovely takedown denial though by Bang Bang, but with this, you've got to think on risk that Bang Bang needs to change up his game and needs to throw something out there to make Styles not want to take him down.
Yeah, throwing like a jab straight like he was doing earlier, he can't necessarily do that anymore because you saw the slip come out of DC, aka Styles. And the thing is, he's also landing those really good takedowns that are basically sapping away his energy, sapping away the stamina. Just a little tick here and there, but it's gonna work in the long run, and we're only 1 round into a 5-round fight, and you do not want to see Bang Bang's stamina that low already.
EK Bang Bang doing such a phenomenal job at getting up when he gets dumped to the ground by the Olympian. Styles having great success with level changing at the proper times. Great sweep right there, reverses the positions. He's in crucifix. This is not where Silva wants to be. EK Bang Bang getting touched up in the concluding moments of round 1. Great denial there from Styles, keeping him on the mat, on the back. This is what he wants to see. Could be a motivating factor, Doc, leading into round 2, that he has this control time to finish the first set of 5 minutes.
Indeed. Well, again, this has been mainly Styles' fight so far. He's taken it down and just controlled the entire fight. Bang Bang needs something to straighten him, but again, Styles seems quite happy with just waiting back and then shooting the takedown and then coming back and doing shit.
Good work here early again from Bang Bang, still just continuing what he was doing in the first 5, finding the moments and being selective with the shots and making them count on Onaros.
Yeah, it's definitely, he's just trying to work through it, trying to evade those takedowns, basically just keep himself from getting taken down. But as I say that, he does get taken down, and he does get a beautiful denial, though.
Great work from him, stacking the guard. Doc looks like he's trying to rain some thunder onto Silva's head.
Indeed, gets a lovely denial off that feet on hip, goes straight into the side control position now, gets his crucifix again. He's just trying to work down the head just so he has an easy time on the feet. And with this being said, this crucifix is not a fun position to be. It could be a fight ender, so.
Good work here again. This crucifix position is what we saw at the concluding moments of round 1. We're back at it. Sophomore appearance of it in the main event, and it is working effectively again. Now in the side control, still dominant for the Olympian Silva. EK Bang Bang trying to get up to continue the work that he did, but is struggling on Onaros.
Yeah, he's getting into that crucifix position. This is definitely working very well for him at this point. Doc, how would you figure this out going into possibly, the 3rd round? I feel like he can keep this going.
Bang Bang's having a very difficult time keeping him full guard, but as I said, that he gets up, tempts the knee, but instead gets whizzed out of there with Bang Bang now putting on hit by the uppercut. Styles coming in very aggressive, putting on this pressure, both sides. Got to remember though, Bang Bang is the pressure master, some would say. But again, Styles doing a fantastic job of managing that, taking him down again, and waiting for that up kick before going straight into that guard.
Punch speed and punch power, both 92 for DC, the former double champion. However, accuracy is 96, so when he throws, it's gonna land.
Indeed, well, very strong start in general, digging up top and then coming down bottom.
Great first round for EK Bang Bang. Looks like this one's all Styles through the concluding couple minutes. Gets dumped once more. DC follows him to the ground, Doc.
Indeed, a very strong start. No, strong start? I don't know what I'm on about here. Strong end by Styles here, looking for that ground pound at the very end. Bang Bang's even got the stamina disadvantages, so this is going all in Styles' favour here. And with this, it's another set of raining ground and pound by DC. As far as Bang Bang coming at the end of the 3rd round, I'll start digging to that body. Cormier has a really low body health, so that'd probably be where you want to go.
89 specifically is what that midsection is for the former double champ. We saw in the Stipe Miocic fight, the adjustment was the left hands to the body. That ultimately was the downfall for Cormier. Will Silva adjust? Can EK Bang Bang make that read? Onaros, round 3, here we go.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I mean, Bang Bang is showing a little bit of a stamina disadvantage, but he is not out of there. Quite yet, but he gets rocked and it's looking bad for him. He definitely just got hit to the body. What do you think he's got to do, Doc, to possibly get that finish he needs right now?
I don't really know. He needs to pull something out of his arsenal, possibly throw the kitchen sink if he has it, but it seems to be the case that Styles has nicked all the kitchen utensils.
EK Bang Bang is getting absolutely mauled as this fight progresses. The more time it goes, the less success he has. Onaros, the adjustments that he needs to make are crucial. What are they?
Yeah, definitely survive this submission if he can. He has no stamina right now, and Styles has it in a very good position, but it looks like he might just get out. He's playing very patiently, but it's getting really. What do you think right now?
Doc. Work. It's close. This one's close.
Again, it's a very close job by both opponents now, with Bang Bang ending up on top, probably looking for the break. Gets a denial off Styles though, and gets another denial. Doesn't. Instead, he goes straight to the half guard position. And this is Styles in the bottom position. We rarely see this, but it's still a dangerous position to be in.
Doc, talking about that submission real quick, let's unpack the future ones that could come. What does that give you as a fighter when you have such a close submission?
He knows that you can get off, but you have to be wary that he did have a stand advantage, so it's very much a case of he was severely damaged. But he gets a drop, circles out, or out the cage, holding their cage position instead. Then that Bang Bang, when the cage just isn't a good job, slips up into a slip hook and then comes back, going that.
How is Bang Bang still standing?
And we could look at the end of the round.
And to finish that fight, it became a one-sided performance at the point in rounds 2 and 3, I believe. Yeah, it was just basically at that point, it was just a matter of time, in my opinion.
Wow, what a beautiful finishing sequence there. Styled all over EK. Bang Bang made him go boom boom. That was a true comeback from adversity. That first round, Silva really touched the chin of DC on numerous occasions. We know how much power Vanderlei has at that weight, and the adjustments that Styles made as the fight progressed, the wrestling prowess that eventually wore down the momentum, and the switch of it. The table got turned and the knee went into the chin, Doc.
Indeed. Lovely job by Styles controlling that fight. Bang Bang did a fantastic job coming in, but again, and yeah, lovely job by both opponents.
If you guys liked Primetime 23, let's hear it in the Twitch chat. 19 viewers. I want to see some support, baby. And let's talk about Monday. Fight Night 9. Primetime main event's going to be Great Mist versus God Ate My Pig, contested at 185. Marvin Vettori versus Vitor Belfort. Doc Honoros. This one's a banger.
Indeed. Great Miss versus Giant Pig, a title contendership to see who next fights Trickzzy. This is a fight to see. Great Miss is known for that god-awful, that painful pressure and that rear leg kick. Giant Pig, good all round. He's got the takedowns, got aggression. They are both mean people to fight. This will be a war indeed.
Talking about other notable events that are occurring within the esports UFC 4 landscape, none bigger than the $5,000 ESFL GOAT Greatest of All Time tournament, contested at all eras of UFC video games. We're taking you back through history, baby. This is the biggest event I think I have ever seen. If you miss it, you're missing out.
Indeed. The GOAT tournament is looking to be a stacked card, to be indeed.
I have to say, we'll get your time back to you. Incredibly thankful to the commentators. Honoros, Doc, great job as always. Doc, good performance in that co-main. Incredibly thankful for your time as well. Viewers, I hope you enjoy, and I hope to see you at Monday, Fight Night 9. Great Mist versus God Ate My Pig.